Oh, Confessions of a Shopaholic. Yes.
Oh, got Perth's own Isla Fisher.
I know.
Perth's own?
Yep.
Can we own her? Because she wasn't born in Perth.
Yeah, she probably is not even Australian. Yeah.
No, I think she was born in Dubai or something.
Dubai's own.
But she's...
Good,
you know,
as
she
good
went to
as...
MLC, so, right? That counts.
Wait, we what?
We're recording. That'll go in the outtakes.
Yeah.
That's just what I hear.
This is the Fangin' Around Show, episode 18, recorded on Monday, 2nd of July, 2012. It's the first J-Fest recorded episode of Fangin' Around in history. What's up?
Not much. Hi, I'm
Fred? I'm James, by the way.
Fred.
Campbell.
There's three of us.
There's only three.
Harry's tragically taking his lover to the airport to send her off on a jet plane. I'm
She's
leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when she'll be back again.
Something.
Yeah, so very tragic news.
And exciting for her.
Well,
And
for
him.
her, it's exciting.
Oh.
It's for us. She's leaving us. That's the issue.
It's tragic for us.
Fred, why are you playing?
It's aeroplane-related music. I was a bit slow.
Okay.
Should have just sung it like you guys.
We don't have the copyrights to.
Yeah, we can't actually. In fact,
Wish I could.
our podcast will probably get pulled for us just singing it so accurately.
Yes, and Harry's leaving as well in 2 weeks. We're hoping he'll come back for at least one episode before he leaves.
Of Fanging and at least
send
an
him
episode
away.
of D&D.
Are we going to have open auditions for Harry's spot?
He should be here when we have
Well,
him.
we
He
need
should
a
pick his
scientist.
replacement.
Pick his replacement.
Because we're branding ourselves as two scientists versus
Art
two
versus
artists.
science.
Yeah.
Yeah, art
So
versus...
we need to balance up
science
science.
versus art.
versus art.
Yeah, no one's done that.
Yeah.
Science v art.
Uh,
Parlez-vous?
but well, he may join us by Skype, but Harry's the kind of person we don't count on. But if he wants to join up, we're going to send him all the equipment to do it.
We'll send him. We'll buy him a brand new computer.
Yeah. Oh, he's already bought
a
one.
recording. Well, we'll get him a new one.
We just need to give him a microphone and headphones. That's basically
Yeah, that's true.
because I'm sure he has headphones, but he won't wear them unless he can find them, and then we'll get feedback through from all the way from England, and it'll be dodgy. But we'll see what happens. It's exciting stuff, all this technology.
It's connecting people.
Now, what have you been consuming, Fred?
I saw Brave on Sunday.
Oh yeah, the new Pixar joint.
Yep.
What do you think?
It was okay. I added it to my feminist corner.
Oh really?
Oh, do you want to talk about it later?
Now,
do you?
Yeah.
Give us some context. What are your thoughts on the previous Pixar catalog?
You'd have to help me out there. I don't know which one's Pixar.
Toy Story, Monsters Inc.
Who Framed
Bugs
Roger
Life.
Rabbit?
No, Campbell's
they-
trying to screw.
Yeah. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Problem Child.
Space Jam.
Space.
Highest grading.
You made me
highest
break.
gross-
You got me.
Fred's eyes just lit up.
No,
For those that
Fred was so thrilled.
Highest grossing basketball movie of all time.
Is that in your top 10 favorite?
What
films?
about Air Bud?
Fred?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty
It would be more
Who
exciting.
Framed
if you
Roger
said yes.
Ramjet was excellent.
Who Framed Roger
Ramjet.
Ramjet?
You're
That'd be
getting
even
mixed up.
better.
Cartoons.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're thinking of
Different
Roger
Roger.
Rabbit, the greatest
Yeah.
ABC
Roger
cartoon,
Ramjet,
yeah.
he's our man.
That's the-
hero
That nothing
of the
ever really
nation.
happened in the show.
Those guys were on drugs when they made that show. I mean, the whole show's about that guy popping pills and
Popping
Getting all
proton
juiced
pills,
up.
wasn't it? Proton pill?
yeah.
Yeah. And flying jets around at super speed.
Yeah.
So,
Brave.
Brave, yeah.
Well, it's put in my
Whoa.
Sorry.
Mine,
That was
wait.
Perth earthquake.
Well, basically, before I saw it, Isabel's like,
Earthquake.
I like it.
Man, the West,
That's
you're
what
not
it
allowed
is.
to use that if it happens. Fucking hell. Heard it here
I
first.
want to make a movie.
Earthquake. What happened? Oh, yeah, because when I told my sister who's in town from Melbourne that I was going to see Brave, she's like, I heard it's sexist. So then I spent the whole movie watching it thinking, is this sexist? And I decided, yes, it is sexist.
Oh,
What? Sexist?
Brave.
Brave is sexist.
But isn't it a kids' film?
Yeah, but it's one of those things that you got to read into it. I mean, English was never my forte, but
So it's really sexist, like...
no, it's not
so-
really sexist.
so
But I
should
don't know.
we-
She said, "Oh, it's really sex." Someone, she heard a review from some person. On
But
the
isn't
radio.
it for kids?
Yeah, so a kid wouldn't consider it
sorry,
sexist.
so she told you before you went, so your vision was kind of
I
tainted.
saw it through sexist.
You're looking
goggles.
for the flaws because she had pre-warned this on you.
Yeah, so maybe I was a little bit. I think the person claimed it was sexist.
She told you about the pee under the bed.
Yeah, and she said it was sexist. I think she didn't say explicit. She said it might be sexist against women. So then I watched it,
Oh, so
looking for that, and
it's
decided it was sexist against men instead.
So it's sexist for men and for women.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. Do you have to be against both? Isn't it kind of just be sexist?
But we were talking about this
Against
at Don's
everyone?
party, how it shows a bit of cock and tit, so it kind of evens it out.
No, I don't think anybody wants to see cock.
Oh, I don't know.
Fred,
I
that's a
always
bit
like
sexist.
seeing cock in cinema and film and things because it always gives you a bit of a rush.
Hmm.
You know, you see boobs a dime a dozen now.
Hmm.
When someone gets their cock out in a film, you're always like, whoa, now things are serious.
Yo, Dougie.
Yeah.
Have you
Watch
checked
a
out the
Colin
new
Farrell-
Fassbender film?
The new Who film?
New Michael Fassbender film.
No, is it sexist?
I don't know, but apparently when his cock appears, it steals the show. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Doesn't Colin Farrell get his dick out in all these films?
Yeah, and Ewan McGregor.
And Harvey Keitel?
In fact, no, I think Colin Farrell's only got it out in his sex tape.
Don't know.
Harvey Keitel gets his cock out in every film he's in. Every film.
Does he have a large package?
Well, it's out there.
I guess
It's dangling
I could
around.
Find out, couldn't I?
Yeah, it'd be really easy to find out. And he's been getting it out over his entire career, so you could probably chart the...
Do they get longer, or you know how old people's ears get bigger?
Yeah, they just keep growing.
So if Fangin around took off and they wanted to make a movie spin-off, right? Would
Oh,
you guys
Fabio.
sign a nudity clause?
What, that someone has to get their cock out if they play me? What do you mean?
Like, would you request a body double if your cock has to come out on the...
What, if I was in the film,
I was in the
and then
film?
they
Yeah.
said, you have to get naked,
Yeah,
I'd probably get naked?
you'd do it?
Well, no, wait. What I'm saying is, I don't think I'd get a body double.
Yeah. Would you say...
Does
Would
that
you
make
say,
sense?
like, only the ass crack, that's it?
No, I'd do the frontal. Oh,
You've
my
got a phone
partner's
call.
calling.
Emergency.
Busted.
Would I get a body double?
Yeah, Fred, would you get a body double?
Sorry, Cam.
Oh, sorry.
Is she listening from
There's
down
too many.
south?
Are you listening from down south?
I wouldn't do full frontal nudity on film. I'd do behind.
Behind?
Yep.
You think your behind holds up? Stacks up?
No.
Is it because you're worried about your parents seeing it? Because this is what I fear.
But they know,
is
they've
that-
seen you, out of anyone on this planet, they've seen you naked the most.
This is true. This is very true.
You got
Yeah, I
nothing
guess,
to hide
yeah.
from your parents.
No.
So that'd be the...
No, but would they be embarrassed for you on your behalf? That's
well,
what
I
I'm
can't
saying.
imagine what scene in this film of this podcast involves me getting my dick out. So it'll probably be more of...
No, it'd be
why
like
I
a
did it.
spin-off, like, the podcast became such a hit and we got millions of fans and they're like, oh, we've got to monetize this, so let's make it just a movie
Like a,
where it's like Fangin' Around goes wild, you know?
like a gross out teen romp.
Yeah.
And
Oh, no, it'd be like The
play
Hangover.
me.
It'd be like The Hangover where it's like...
Campbell's going under the table.
Oh. Yeah, like The Hangover where everyone's in the mid-30s having a midlife crisis and...
Is that what Brave's like?
No, this is what the Fangin' Around movie will be like when we become the biggest podcast on the net and they want to spin it off.
The biggest
into a-
non-Dungeons
They
and
want to
Dragons
monetize
podcast.
us into it.
But if some
already
if,
conquered.
if some film studio wants to make a Dungeons and Dragons film,
Yeah.
they would look at see who's the authority on Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
It'd be us.
And they'd see who's got the biggest podcast.
Yeah, who's got the biggest D&D podcast?
Yeah.
If they wanted to go kind of like the clever indie
Yeah.
cool route, and they'd get us to...
Yep.
If a studio said, hey guys, we liked your D&D podcast, do you want to make a movie out of that? What would you guys say?
Do I play myself? No, I could never be in front of the camera.
Or they'd be open to, whatever. What would
No.
you say if they said, we want you to helm a D&D film? How would you, how would you do
we've got a live tweet.
I'd direct it.
Well,
A live
Sorry,
tweet.
James.
Listener Zoe J. McGill on Twitter says, Brave was more sexist towards men.
I agree. She sounds like she's a Quality person.
She is
Yep.
a gem.
I agree. Zoe McGill, we should meet up sometime and talk about that.
Oh, let's make this happen. I
Fred,
think things could get steamy.
Well, Zoe J. McGill on Twitter. You can tweet Fangin' Around, or if you go into Fangin' Around's lists on Twitter, you can find the host of the show, the individual counts. If you want to be more personal.
Ooh, I don't... No.
That's a bit risque
Yeah.
on a first
we
date.
we do offer a webcam service, cam shows,
Yeah.
James, you should do cam
Free
shows.
cams.
free cams. Yeah,
James,
We don't have the bandwidth.
Someone's
This one,
favourite.
I need to move to Eastvic Park so we can do a video show.
then you can do a cam
you
show.
can do a cam show, yeah. Eat a banana and want to do it in the podcast.
Get the NBN.
Well, it'd be like we could finally set up the Greek club, so we could do a podcast while oiled up and
Oiled
working
up
out,
and
so in
working
a
out.
gym.
Would
Yeah.
you go nude on the webcast or get a body double?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
What if we found a giant house in Eastvic Park that's connected to the NBN? Do you think your partners could live with me?
No.
As
no.
the uncle, the dodgy uncle?
No.
No.
No,
Okay,
no.
Good. I'm glad we
Sorry,
sorted that out. Okay, so we'll bring back...
Are you proposing a giant share house with like 10 people in
No,
it and a child?
I'm just saying
Just
if we
throwing
wanted
it
to
out
have
there.
a quality cam show, we need lots of people.
Do we?
Yeah, it has to be 24 hours a day, you see.
You want a big brother this house and invite us and our
No,
girlfriends
just
over.
one
So this is
room.
why no one would live with you, James. Find a shower, cam in the shower or something.
Are you excited, James, that Big Brother is coming back this year?
Oh,
or next
people
year?
have been telling me, hey, James, have you checked out the new Big Brother trailer? I haven't seen it. So I'm a bit
I only got
behind.
one question. Is Hot Dogs Up Late coming back with it?
Oh, I sure hope
Person
so.
hot dogs.
Oh, it's
I've
I've been
Hot
thinking, the best way to promote your podcast is to get celebs on as guest hosts. If we get hot dogs,
Oh,
Our crowd's been better.
God. Hot dogs.
hot dogs.
He'd probably do it for like $50 or something. I can't imagine.
Carton.
I know that the majority of our listeners come from Oregon in USA, so I have no idea who hot dogs.
So who was Hot Dogs, for those who don't know? He was
He
a
was-
Big Brother contestant.
Yeah. And then he hosted the world's crappiest show, which is Hot Dogs Up Late. Up Late with Hot Dogs, which is like there'll be a quiz like, what's the capital
Twitter's
of
going wild.
England? London, New York, or Paris? And you text in the number.
Yeah, and they probably made
And they
squillions out of
they
it.
had so when the show started, they had hot dogs and a girl in a bikini, and it was okay.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of the girl in the bikini.
They couldn't
Hot
afford to keep her. They had to keep
Yeah.
hot dogs.
And
So
they, sorry, but they had to decide. They were looking at the budget, and they're going, all right, we could only afford to get Hot Dogs back or the girl in the bikini.
Yeah.
I don't know who made that decision, but it was the wrong one.
It was kind of, yeah.
I think people were sticking around to see the girl in bikini.
yeah.
Not to offend hot dogs. That's too bad.
Look, if we're gonna have him on the show, we want
need to
keep
say
him on
good-
side.
Hey,
but-
you're hot
no,
dogs.
he can probably agree.
Is
He
hot
probably
dogs on
agree.
Twitter? That's what I'm going to research this week. Is hot dogs on Twitter, and we're going to
Wouldn't
tweet him.
do that now in about 5 minutes.
5 minutes to
Oh,
search
well,
for Hot
you can
Dogs.
Google. You can disappear off from Google.
Um,
Okay. So we'll talk more about Brave in Feminist Corners that we're saying, Fred.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, one thing I've been consuming is Newsroom, and I'll talk about that in Feminist Corner as well. So, do you want to talk about what you're consuming? Cam?
What have I been consuming? Not a lot this week. However, today there was a revelation for me. Revolution. Everyone's been badgering me to do it for years, and I've only just finally gotten around to doing it. And I watched Drive.
All right. Yep. With Zoe's favourite listener, Zoe J. McGill's
Favorite
actor.
Christina Hendricks. Yeah, she's in it. That's right.
She allowed Fred to put Christina Hendricks on his 3, so she's obviously a fan.
I just watched Drive after seeing that. Yeah, so I was motivated to put it on my 3.
She doesn't meet the best ending for her character in terms of sexuality.
Sorry, I'm just YouTubing
Hot Dogs.
up late game with show with hot dogs.
What if someone
mute?
Someone has
course it's on
YouTube clips
YouTube.
of hot dogs.
Guess the like to dislike ratio.
20 likes, 37 dislikes.
6 likes, 1 dislike.
Oh.
So people are in favour of hot dogs.
People are loving hot dogs. Didn't he have some sort of bender down at Cottesloe? And he was like, cool.
No,
checking
on
He
out
got
the-
a
Gold Coast.
gobby in
On the Gold
the
Coast,
alley.
yeah.
But people, I don't know
He
why
got a
that's a
gobby.
scandal. The guy's called hot dog.
Everyone called hot dogs gets a gobby in the alleyway in the Gold Coast. Or Byron Bay, or whatever it was.
All right, so I watched Drive. Just the first minute won me over.
Yeah.
I was clapping in the first minute. I was just like, my God. And then that opening sequence, the getaway, that was some of the most like exciting action I've seen. And then the opening credits and the music and the colors and the music cue where he turns the light switch off and the beats pauses and then it kicks back in. Fuck me. Seriously, that was just like amazing. Yeah. And then the love story. Oh, because like, I don't know. My partner Liz has been doing a lot of kind of critical theory writing at uni. She's been doing her postgrad in arts theory, and so she's been just doing heavy reading, heavy research, heavy writing. And so when she watches something, she just wants to like turn off and not think about it. So what'll happen is in the evening, I'll put our son to bed and pat him to sleep, and then by the time I've come out, she's put something on.
Yeah.
So she's picked for the night what we're going to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's chilling out. And so I don't get it.
She likes the less you have to think about it.
Usually, yeah. I mean, she does like good things, but
she thinks about stuff at work. When she comes home, doesn't want to think about it. Doesn't want to think.
Like, that's enough.
And I can totally understand what she's going out there.
Yeah, because it's not like she's working a mind-numbing job and then she gets home and wants to be stimulated. It's like the opposite.
Yeah. She's overstimulated.
Yeah, so I haven't managed to wedge Drive into our evening viewing. Anyway, but she was gone away from the home today, so I watched it, and wow. So, but where I was heading with that, we've been watching a lot of rom-com stuff.
Oh, right, yeah.
And honest to God, rom-coms are like the least romantic things I've ever seen.
Oh, we're going to segue into that later.
But Drive, the romance in that, my God.
I disagree. My interpretation was that he's basically autistic. Has no emotion, and he's just basically obsessed with this girl.
Didn't he say that she's the best thing that's ever happened to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he never ever shows any emotion. He's a bit of a psychopath.
Yeah, but that's what autism is, right?
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
But it doesn't mean he's not human.
And he does everything in a very rational. It's like he takes the most rational
Forrest
route.
Gump goes, "I know what love is."
I may not be a smart man, but I know what love is.
Yeah, but. Yeah. So that's not... But to me, it didn't come across as romantic. It was a bit creepy.
Well, for me, it came across as romantic. It was like the most romantic thing I've
maybe
ever
romantic. Maybe a bit misguided.
But I guess because it was, the silence, the gorgeous silence in that film. Just silence. And, I mean, the script must have been kind of like 3 pages long, seriously.
But I love that, right? I love movies that give you time to do whatever you want. Like, before Fangin' Around Created, I talked about the Year of Silence, right, where we had No Country for Old Men, which had no dialogue in the first half.
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood had no dialogue in the first half.
Yep.
Even I Am Legend with Will Smith had no dialogue in the first half.
The Artist?
Well, that was dialogue this year.
Oh, wow.
Full stop.
Yeah. But yeah, they just gave the characters freedom to just...
And then it gives you as a viewer a room to maneuver in that film. So I can watch Drive and go, oh my God, this is one of the most romantic films I've ever seen. And Fred watches it and goes, oh, he's kind of a creepy autistic guy. But, I don't think either of us are wrong or right. That's what happens when you give viewers room and space to breathe within a project. And anyway. And then when the violence happens, it's violent and it's shocking. Because of the silence and the peace, and he's not this hard-ass motherfucker who's sprouting like badass lines every second and bulging biceps and crap. His stillness is this power. And,
but it didn't come across to me as power. Like he didn't come across as Mr. Cool, quiet, calm, like iron, cold steel. It was just he was a bit autistic. So he didn't say anything. He just kind of did a lot of staring and not much emotion. And sometimes it almost looked like he was just trying to figure out what he should do. And then he went and did it.
Yeah.
So that's my reading.
I also think that Carey Mulligan was perfectly cast. And this was something that was very curious to me because before I saw this movie, I heard that Carey Mulligan was cast as Daisy in The Great Gatsby. And I was just like, man, just Carey Mulligan, I don't think she could pull off Daisy, right? She is like the perfect girl next door, like stereotype, like.
She's really plain looking.
Oh, Fred, that's a bit offensive.
I don't mean unattractive.
I
I don't mean unattractive. I mean just sort of.
No, I think she has a unique look.
So you pro her?
No, but I'm saying she is the perfect girl next door, and then she played. What did she play in this film? The girl next door.
Quite literally.
And they just gave. There was just shots of her walking down the hall. Some of my favorite shots of film, and they just gave her time to think. And we don't know much about her character in her past, but we're sitting there going, "Oh, what brought her to get married to the guy?" Blah 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 blah. But now she's going to be, and I think that was the perfect role for her. Now that I've seen the film, I couldn't put anyone else in that role. But now she's going to be in The Great Gatsby, where she's playing the complete opposite of this character. She's meant to be the pinnacle of perfection. That's who Daisy was. And I just don't think, anyone who sees Drive is just not going to believe her as Daisy in The Great Gatsby.
Maybe she can pull it off.
Who knows?
Anyway.
Put a bird on it.
What else is there on the notes?
Anyway, Drive left me speechless.
Yeah. Anyway, I still think it's a pretty flawed film. Like the second half, it seems to lose its way a bit, and the final the scene kind of redeems it, but I want to go see what this guy has done because I wanted to see what he's done before because people sort of had raved about some of the stuff he's done. But I feel ashamed that I saw Drive first out of his films. But he did the Pusher trilogy, which everyone raves about, but I've never seen. He did Bronson, which everyone says is a great movie, and I got to check that out, but I've never been able to find it anyway. Easily accessible.
Did Valhalla Rising?
He did Valhalla Rising, which I saw the trailer of, and I heard it was by the guy who did the Pusher trilogy, and I was like, well, everyone raved about him, but the reviews of Valhalla Rising weren't that great. But did you see that, Valhalla Rising?
No, I haven't seen any of those films.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so I watched this film, and I was like, who the fuck is this director?
But they obviously gave him complete creative control, which I heard Bronson's a bit like this, so I really want to look to see Bronson, but...
Well, the budget for this film was, tiny as well. I was looking at it online. It's just... God.
I just need Ryan Gosling in a jacket and some cars, right?
The first thing I did, as soon as the second of this film finished, I bought the soundtrack.
Oh.
And but it doesn't live up to the film. Like it's that perfect combination of music and cinema that made it work. When the soundtrack's still good, but it doesn't work without the visuals going on with it.
And the elevator scene and the dramatic lighting in it, and it's just in the end, just unbelievable. Anyway, that's what I watched this week.
I went and saw 2 films at the cinema last week.
Ooh la la!
Went and saw the new Snow White film.
And The Huntsman?
Snow White. Is it? Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Yeah, not just Snow White.
Kirsten Stewart
with
and
a huntsman.
Charlize Theron.
Well, I saw one trailer for it. Saw Charlize Theron as this psycho, evil queen or whatever, and I was like, I'm in, and I won't watch any more trailers. Didn't read any reviews, just went and saw it because I was like, I just want to see Charlize Theron go nuts on screen.
And
it's probably not worth going to see.
No. I've heard Kirsten Stewart described as the Keanu Reeves.
Right,
of
I
this
don't know
generation.
Kirsten Stewart. I've seen her in one other movie before,
Just
and
no
she was
expression.
Okay,
But that's a style of acting almost.
and
Yeah.
she has before the last 20 minutes of the film, or maybe 10 minutes of the film, she has about all of her whole script would have been 100 words, 10 lines.
Really?
She says nothing, it's all dominated by the male characters, and in the end she's forced to do a rousing speech to rouse the crowd. And it doesn't work.
It's arousing the crowd. Another sexist fantasy film.
Not around. Just getting people to back her as the princess kind of thing.
Yeah. Not impressed then.
No.
Anything
not worth paying for. That Charlize Theron again. If you want to see her freak out as a queen, that's kind of interesting stuff. But
what else did you watch? What was the other thing?
I went and saw Cabin in the Woods.
Oh yeah,
have you guys heard about this?
I have heard about it.
Joss Whedon's other film this year.
Yep,
that did
his
gross
indie
$1 billion.
cult classic.
That's all I can say.
What? DNR does not rate.
It's just one of those films you can't see, and I think you've missed the moment. I think I missed the moment. I didn't go see it the first night. I went to the cinema
How does that matter?
to see it, and there was only 3 people there, and it's like a crowd film. You go see it, and it's a crowd. And I was sitting there going, man, this would have been great to see in the crowd. But that's all I can say about it.
Never
But
heard of
yeah,
that before.
if you're in a country and they're having screens of Cabin in the Woods, like as a cult film, go see it. It's definitely worth it. But don't see it if you're just going to watch it by yourself.
What if you were getting like together a couple of friends to watch it at home in a little room?
Sorry?
What if it was like 3 people in a room?
Oh, yes.
together?
If you're getting friends together to do a screening, yeah, do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a crowd film. So you,
Oh, okay. So it doesn't matter the size of the crowd so much.
yeah, like if we had a Fangin' Around film night, I would recommend Cabin in the Woods as a, Fang Around, the 4 of us, and the fans could come along. But it'll probably be out of the cinema before we got that organised, so. I could do it in my backyard when it comes out in Blu-ray.
Oh, cool. And then could you have someone dressed up as a monster coming out of the bushes and scaring everyone?
Oh, it'll be awesome.
That'd be pretty cool. I've been watching a little bit of Once Upon a Time. I don't know if I've spoken about this.
All right. Now, which one is this? Because isn't there 2 fairy tale movies right now?
That's
no, this is a TV show.
No, yeah. Isn't there 2 fairy tale TV shows on?
Oh, I don't know. I'm only watching Once Upon a Time.
Which is the one with the girl from Ed and Big Love? Oh, Once Upon a Time. Is it Jennifer Goodwin?
Jennifer. Was she in Ed?
Yeah, she was the nerdy girl who had the afro. It'll blow your mind when you go look back.
Who was best friends with Justin
Long
character?
and the fat guy. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But she was the hot girl in House for all ages, and she was the cute wife in Big Love. She's amazing in Big Love, by the way.
Oh, okay. I can't remember what I know her from, but I've seen her in quite a few things.
Yeah, if you saw her in Ed, because I know you watched at least the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, I really.
You'd be like,
Ed.
oh my god.
I liked Ed a lot. That was a good show. Once
She's
Upon
kind
a
of
Time.
like Scarlett Johansson. How Scarlett Johansson was really kind of like in Ghostwatch, she's kind of like the fugly teenager. Now she's like the hottest woman in the world.
Well, yeah. All right. Once Upon a Time. Yeah, so the basic premise is that all the fairy tale kingdom stories and jibber jabber live in a kingdom together, and then the evil queen cast some sort of spell and made everyone come to like our world and lose all their magic and forget all their past, and so they're just living like some little rural town and they've forgotten who they are. But the narrative keeps chopping between the characters doing stuff in the fairy world up until they were banished or whatever, and then them trying to live out their life in the new world. And it's the sort of thing where every time I see that it's on TV, I'm like, oh, there's that show with that really cool idea. I'm going to watch it. And every time I watch it, I get to the end of the episode and I go, oh, nothing happened. And that was actually really boring. So I've watched like most of the episodes in the first season, and it's yet to click and it's yet to be good. But I keep watching it forgetting that it's not good. So this is just to remind myself and everyone out there that it's not a very good show. It's a really cool idea. And Jennifer Goodwin.
I watched the
Jennifer
pilot.
Goodwin?
Jennifer Goodwin, yeah.
She's great in the real world parts, and then she's really crap as Snow White in the fairy tale parts, I think. Okay. Which is
it
odd.
the same person? Or
yeah, same
people?
actress.
No, I know the same actress, but are they different characters? Or
it's sort of weird. They're supposed to be the same character, but the one in our world has forgotten who she is. So it's sort of yes, no, I don't know. But the way she plays the character in the real world's much more interesting. Yeah, so been watching that and not.
Well, I was pretty excited about it. I watched the part, didn't get into it because I'm one of my various writing projects is fairy tale. So
yeah, look, it doesn't get any better. So drop it like it's hot.
Did she get naked?
Well, I was told by someone that it's like a ladies' version of Game of Thrones. And I hotly dispute that.
Oh, we've been tagged into the conversation now that Jennifer Goodwin's going to listen to this.
Oh. I hotly dispute that because Game of Thrones is a ladies' Game of Thrones.
Yeah, yeah.
Strong
We
female
went through that
characters.
last week, yeah. We covered it.
Strong female characters. All right, so shall we hit the show notes?
Well, let's segue. Okay, so into the feminism corner by saying one of the other things I've been consuming is Newsroom, the new... What's his name? The guy, A Few Good Men... I should know this. How embarrassing. Aaron Sorkin. The new Aaron Sorkin joint. He's famous. Most people know him from The West Wing. Did you guys get into The West Wing?
No.
Never watched it.
No.
Too much walking.
I'm
and
sure our
talking?
listeners were into it. He's big about the walking and talking. He did a show called Studio 60 on Sunset Strip, which I watched until it got cancelled. He wrote the play and I think probably the screenplay of one of my favourite movies of all time, A Few Good Men. And so that's why I watch it, just hoping it'll live up to the expectations of A Few Good Men. And so it's his new joint. Every screenwriter out there, except maybe me, I feel like I'm the only screenwriter out there who's not just sitting there masturbating over Aaron Sorkin scripts. So that's I'm trying to give you guys context.
Yeah. No, I appreciate
You may
it.
already know this, that Aaron Sorkin, he did The Social Network, wrote The Social Network script.
Oh, okay. I heard all the jisming over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's doing this new TV show on HBO, so I'm guessing it's getting full artistic license. Is that HBO? I'm pretty sure it is. Or one of those AMC or those networks that give you like Mad Men and stuff like that. That gives you full artistic license. He's getting a show now, so hopefully it won't be cancelled like Studio 60 on Sunset Strip. It's about I'm guessing it's going to be... I've only watched the first episode last week. The second episode came today. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But Jeff Daniels is like a news anchor for a TV show, kind of like some make-believe CNN kind of thing. He's like the head anchor of a mythical CNN, I assume. I think it's based on real life. And the first episode's set during the BP oil spill.
Oh, cool.
So the first episode's like, all this stuff's happening to introduce the characters as the BP oil spill stories occurring. So they have to, at the end of the episode, they're presenting their show about the BP oil spill.
Oh.
So it's interesting. Have you guys consumed any Aaron Sorkin before?
No.
Social Network?
You've seen The Social Network?
Yeah. What else has he done? Sorry.
A Few Good Men?
No.
West Wing?
No. Social Network. That's it. Done.
What did you think of The Social Network?
Bits were good, bits were bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like... It was David Fincher, wasn't it?
Directed by David Fincher.
Yeah. I mean, I really like his work.
It's the ultimate movie. Written by the greatest screenwriter. Directed by the greatest director.
Yeah.
Who's not a writer himself.
No, I mean, I thought it was good. I mean, I think David Fincher, unfortunately, for better or worse, kind of, has, Fight Club to sort of contend with now, to compare every project with, and I don't know how you can ever live that film down.
Let's get on to the show notes.
Oh, okay.
No, but I'm talking about Newsroom.
I'm flipping it on its head.
No.
Oh.
What
are you talking about?
No, Campbell, what did you end up seeing?
Whatever he's called.
Aaron Sorkin. Did you end up seeing the David Fincher film about the serial killer Zodiac?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you like that? I can't remember.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Just the way he.
Oh, you love The
frames
Curious
things.
Case of Bridget Barton as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're
I
a
really
big
like
Fincher fan.
Yeah,
So
I
what
am.
do you think of in context of The Social Network? It was like,
Yeah, it was like, I could see moments of greatness.
And there's this mythologically great screenwriter versus the mythologically great director. Did they mesh well, did you think? Or were they competing against each other, do you think?
No, I thought it worked. I thought, I did think it worked. I mean, it wasn't Panic Room.
Yeah.
Which was a film that he did that was just so, it was just vapid. I think Fincher works best with, meaty material.
Yeah.
And then you've got, the man of the hour as well, Mark Zuckerberg, that, the film's about. So you've got this great merging of personalities. Yeah, I think it was all right. It's sort of, it was more like a telly movie almost, like a biopic telly movie sort of thing.
Anyway, so the reason I bring this up in Feminism Quantum is Newsroom completely fails the test, which
Bechdel test?
The Bechdel test?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I think so, yeah.
So
no two women talk to each other.
Yeah, so there's these... there's the really strong female character played by Emily Mortimer, who you know from other stuff, and she's a great actress.
She's got a great last name.
Yeah, check her out. She's hot in her own way, and she's still hot in this, even though she's probably in her 40s now. And then there's the female intern, who's the other strong female character so far. I mean, obviously I haven't watched the second. This is all based on the pilot. And as soon as the girls are together, what do they talk about?
The guys.
Boys. Do you have a crush on this person? Do you have a crush on that?
Right. And did you think you noticed that because we spoke about the Bechdel test?
I'm thinking about, is it the pee? Am I looking for the pee under the mattress,
Okay.
Or
is there actually a pee under the mattress?
It really stood out to me. It really stood out. It's like this show where all these supposedly intelligent journalists all bickering because I don't know if you know Aaron Sorkin dialogue, but it's all like fast talking, walking, talking. And then the two girls get together and they're like, oh, what's your history of this guy? It really stood out to me. And I can't tell, is it because we've started the Feminism Corner on Fangin' Around and I'm paying attention more to feminist issues, or would I have still noticed this before I started watching Feminist Frequency? But you guys should check out the show, see what you think. Come back.
Hot tips. Just looping back a little bit to Fred, you seeing Pixar's latest film?
Yeah, Brave. I too had the pee under the mattress scenario where I watched it through Is This Sexist Goggles. So I've been reading a few articles just then.
Just brushing up on Brave News, is it?
Brave News. No one's really had the same take that I have.
Okay, well, do you want to expand a little on your take? Or...
Well...
Are you worried about spoilers, or...?
No.
Can you give a spoiler-free assessment of why you think it's kind of...
It's a young princess. Basically, my problem is... all the men are portrayed as drunken idiots, basically. And...
But
I don't want to ruin it, but
it's set in Scotland?
Scotland, yeah. But the heroine saves the day with a very womanly pursuit, stereotypically female thing.
Knitting?
Almost.
Cooking?
Oh, no, back it up. And so I was wondering if that's why it was being declared as sexist, but maybe it's some other thing that I'm missing. But then other people are writing articles saying maybe the heroine's gay. It's not sexist. It's not sexist enough for women. I don't know. It was a very sort of movie about gender issues, I guess. 'Cause it's about a young girl being forced into marriage, essentially.
Oh.
And she's rebelling against it. And it's basically a story mostly about a mother-daughter story.
Okay.
So the men are very much maligned through the whole thing and portrayed as idiots. Anyway, I don't know. I don't think I would have had that point of view if I wasn't informed of the pee under the mattress. So don't know. It's hard to tell. Maybe you guys should see it.
I might check it out. I saw some things that were just relating to Pixar again about I think an upcoming film project of theirs. What is it? Monsters Inc. Academy or Monsters Inc. University, I think it is, which is a prequel to Monsters Inc., but it's set while the main characters are at uni together or college studying. James, do you know about this?
Sorry, start again.
Monsters Inc. University or Monsters Inc. College or Monsters Inc. Academy?
I know Pixar has their own university on campus.
No. This is a film.
Oh, there is going to be a Monsters Inc. sequel. Yeah, they're working on that.
Yeah. So I saw some, a little skit or something of it, right? And I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. As a little thing. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I saw some drawings and I didn't realize it was a full-blown film that they're doing.
Oh, did you hear?
It's called Monsters University.
Steve Jobs is dead, and just before he died, he sold all of Pixar to Disney. And of course, what happens when you get sold to Disney? They now have to make 2 films a year, like DreamWorks.
Oh, really?
So they're going to have 1 sequel every year and 1 original film every year.
So this is, it's not just a sequel, it's actually a prequel. Monsters University.
Still a sequel.
Yeah. But can I just say, fuck you, Pixar? Seriously.
Because it's been done.
Seriously. Stop it with this Cars 2 shit
I got
with
tweeted
Monsters
at.
University. What is this?
No, yeah.
Make it sounds cheesy to say it. Make brave films, like bold films,
Like Brave?
Brave.
But they're only allowed to do 1 of them a year.
So we got live tweeted by Pia. Brave is Scotland's Mulan.
Brave is Scotland's Mulan.
Don't know if that's really true. I haven't seen Mulan.
She loves Mulan because she's Asian. Was that offensive? We are the world's most offensive podcast, so.
But Mulan was based on a real historical
we
figure.
were talking of Miss PCM in real life, and she said she loved Mulan because she identified with it because she has, although she is adopted, yes, but she is completely Australian. She has. We're going off rails here. She has Asian origins, and I'm sure that Mulan was attractive to her because she identifies with the Asian princess, and just like Disney had to do the black princess with the Princess and the Frog.
Zoe likes the Little Mermaid. Are you saying she's some sort of
Redhead?
ocean creature?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of The Lion King because I'm from Africa originally. If you trace my parentage back far enough.
Yeah. This is what Disney does. They go after the target markets, and Mulan is huge in Asia.
So
ask Pia, tweet in and say you love Mulan because you identify with it.
Did you just tell it? Pia, tweet us that you love Mulan because you're Asian.
All right,
you just told her to do that. Don't tell Pia what to do. Tell
us what you think about Mulan. Do you feel like it's...
Eddie Murphy played the dragon in Mulan.
Do you think you're maligned for liking Mulan? I know she has an opinion about this. Tell us what your opinion is, Pia. I'm just trying to get the answers out of it.
And
how do we even get onto
you're
this?
getting tweeted. You got onto it for your own... Because she said it's Brave in Scotland's Mulan.
She says that's a bit racist.
Yeah, I'm with Pia. Shut up, James.
No, I'm just trying to understand what her opinion is.
You can like a film without having to be like...
Pia, I know you have an opinion about this. Tell us what it is.
Don't look at me when you say that.
I'm talking to the microphone.
Anyway.
Okay, let's shuffle this along.
Show notes.
Stick to the notes. Stick to the script.
Australians are the biggest drug
users in the world.
That wasn't it only marijuana. Everything but heroin.
Feminism corner, aren't we?
No,
I had my
science is a girl thing. I can't believe you're trying to skip science. Is a girl thing.
So feminist corner and science.
Can we post the link?
Yes. Okay. In the show notes, there will be a link to a YouTube video called "Science is a Girl Thing."
Can I tweet it?
Who's it commissioned by?
Can you tweet it onto our thing?
Yeah.
Uh,
Pia, can you give us your thoughts on this? It was commissioned by
but she's not allowed to give her thoughts on Mulan, her favorite movie ever.
She can give us her thoughts on that.
I know she loves Mulan. I want to know why.
Basically, it was commissioned by the European Science Foundation or something.
So is that across Europe?
So the EU will have a national science funding board or something. And basically, it's like a Maybelline ad with a bit of science, thin veil of science.
Is there actually a thin... I think there's a beaker, and I think there's like a big H on a periodic table. I think that's about it.
And there's like girls in high heels with lipstick, like and fingernail polish.
But it's commissioned by the European head of European stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
So everyone at uni, even though it was all guys, was just like...
So even guys with a hard drive full of porn and highly...
It's a bit of a generalisation about the physics department.
No, I meant even the guys with those hard drives full of porn.
What about it?
Well, even they were outraged at the physics department, were they?
Well, everyone was just... It's ridiculous, right? I mean, I'm not... I think that the intention to market science to girls isn't a bad thing, specifically to girls, but it's literally like a makeup ad. It's like absolutely has no content, and it's like a stereotype. So, I don't know. And like someone said, if you're at all have a brain and into science, you'll see that ad and think, what a bunch of idiots. So it's going to serve no purpose. But I think it was cool. He went out and it went.
Did you ask Anna or any of the girls
what
their thoughts on the video?
Can't find any girls.
So there was
the ad
this
failed. Do you know any? When you went to Europe, didn't you go to Europe conferences, Fred? Did you meet any female scientists?
I've met female physicists. There are currently none
in Europe. They might have seen this ad and thought, let's jump into science.
It's only recent.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have to see. We'll have to do a longitudinal study.
Did you go to George Clooney's lake in Italy for a conference?
Yep.
Yeah, and there was no females there?
No, there weren't.
Okay. So this is why they need the ad, right?
There was a moral panic in your physics department of men all flustered around the
everyone was,
look at this! Oh my god!
No. Everyone was basically laughing at it because it's so ridiculous. It's so cheesy and so stereotypical.
Let's ask the girls what they think.
Even an all-male group of physicists went, that's just
wrong.
Stupid. Yeah, it's wrong.
So just for context, right? This video that we're linking in the show notes, check it out. We're trying to work out where the origin comes from. For context, one of our scientists, Fred, gets to go to conferences around the world. He's been to a European science conference and he saw no female scientists there. Is that what you're saying, Fred? You did see female scientists?
I have seen what... I don't think there were any female scientists there, but I might be wrong. And there's not.
Wouldn't you be looking, Fred? Because you were single back then?
No, he was working. He was working hard.
I was single.
Yeah, so you would have been looking out for ladies.
Oh, absolutely.
And knowing the cleaners around.
But Jay, hot tip, physics conference, not the place to pick up.
So that's what we're trying to find out. Like, what's... What
are you trying to find out?
So, Fred, was it 50-50 male and female?
No, it's 100% male.
Okay, that's what we need to know.
And it's really quite male dominated.
So the European Union had justification for trying to attract females to the industry, but you think they went about it the wrong way. That's what we're saying with this video.
Yeah, it's so cheesy that if you were into science, you would be put off by this patronising, demeaning
ladies who listen to this podcast, I know there's thousands, watch the video.
Let us know.
Let us know if that makes you want to get into science.
Yeah, because we're viewing it from a male
It would probably work to get guys into science more effectively.
Well, if it was guys in science, they'd probably have someone kicking a footy around, maybe at the pub, maybe pump an iron a little bit, and then be like,
so those follow
physics.
Follow me around for a day.
Yeah, we'll just average day.
I'll be shirtless in the lab, sweating.
Yeah, eating a meat pie.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you'd get girls into physics, actually.
Headlines. Australians, biggest drug users in the world.
Except for heroin. I don't believe that either.
But heroin's out of fashion, right? It's crystal meth is the big thing. Ben Cousins is a drug. Right?
Maybe it's...
Special K.
I hear that's pretty good.
Aren't that bath salts where you eat people's face?
Yeah. What is bath salts? What is that code for?
Is it the same? Is that just a name we're giving to this drug, or could you actually put in the bath and have a good bath?
No, it's bubbles? A name, James.
It is a name.
Why do they call it bath salts then? I get confused when they do that.
Yeah, I know. Why call it that?
Because I read something about bath salts, and I was like, huh? Isn't that what they sell at like dust?
It's only for marijuana, James.
So we're the biggest marijuana
consumers in the world. We should just legalize it already.
Get on with it.
Yeah.
I don't even smoke it. I think it should be legalized.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Would you smoke it if it was legalized?
No.
Oh.
But I don't...
Would you eat it?
No.
Would you buy hemp products?
Yeah. Well, it just should be legalized. Like all this stuff, people want to do it. It should be made as safe as possible. And then the government should tax it. So you cut out all the criminal elements and profiteering. You cut out the violence associated with that.
But in this day and age, how can you really justify legalizing a smokable product?
But you can eat it,
makes
right?
you dumb, basically.
You can... You can vaporize it, right?
Yeah, you vaporize it. I suppose.
Well, you could legalize those methods.
Yeah. So it's illegal to smoke it, but you can vaporize it.
You can eat it.
Is it
Snacks.
legal to shoot up Bacardi?
No. Put it on a tampon and
Why
stick it
do
up
you
your
have
arse.
Bacardi, Cam?
Came to rock the party.
Yeah.
We have half a bottle, so you drank half a bottle at some point.
Oh, before I got here.
For the road.
That's just how
Why
I roll.
Bacardi?
I was making mojitos.
Ah.
Yeah. I just thought, I don't know, I thought there might be some cola at the party. Bacardi and Coke, they're best friends.
Cuba Libre.
There's Pepsi Max.
Oh, I'd love a Pepsi Max at some point. Maybe
I
I'll go
assume
get one.
we will need to have a break because we're not doing D&D, right? So.
Oh, yeah, we'll double pod the lot, and we'll go get
Extended edition. We're doing a lot of extended editions. We need
I
more
don't mind
D&D.
it. Yeah, but the D&D's good. Because we're the world's number one D&D podcast.
The podcasts are better when we have D&D because it keeps us shorter.
It condenses us. Yeah.
We'll do 2 then. 2 short ones.
All right, what's the next show note?
Americans are moving to Canada to avoid public health care.
That's
yeah,
just
so
idiotic, isn't it?
Obamacare
Did you
got
guys-
passed,
yeah,
which is
Obamacare.
like mind-boggling that
Yeah.
they managed to fucking push that through.
Because the scariest thing about me, who's like, well, if I actually want a career in filmmaking, if I can achieve it, is I have to go to the USA at some point, and I might not have healthcare because
You join the
you
writers'
have
union,
to be in the
wouldn't you?
union,
Yeah.
but you have to have a published script before you can allow to join the
Oh.
union. I think.
Yeah. The healthcare system over there.
Aren't all of
Previously
these
was
people
terrifying.
who are claiming to move to Canada being ironic?
I don't
Are they,
think
Fred?
so.
I think they are.
Are they? We'll put the link in the show notes.
I don't think they are.
I think they are.
Do you think they're sort of going, oh, God, this country's
Oh,
gone to
come on,
hell
this
with
person's
Obamacare.
saying-
We're going to move to Canada.
For everyone, screw this commie country. I'm moving to Canada.
But you know,
That's
a lot of
one
American...
out of how many they've put it up, and I'm sure there's millions more since that post got put up.
But you know, a lot of kind of conservative Americans do associate universal healthcare with communism.
This is so
Yeah.
dumb. I don't understand.
They don't view it as like an essential
I
part of
know.
operating a country, that you keep your population healthy.
Well, I read an article that basically it stems from the fact that they consider it a freedom, right? They're so obsessed with freedom that if the government interferes with your life in any way, it's a step back.
Yeah.
Mm.
Free trade, free enterprise, free this.
So this is an infringement of the government on your rights.
But it's just
You
mind
know what? And they only care when they get a monopoly like cable provider who also provides you internet, so they are welcome to charge $200 a week for your internet and cable bill because they're the only person who has laid cable down your street. And then they're like up in arms, yet with health they're like, oh, let's freak out about it, man.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that it's
Anyway.
taken them this long to implement a universal healthcare system.
For those people who are uninitiated, Canada famously has better healthcare that's government sponsored,
subsidized
than America, and so people
and
are
they've had it
saying
for
now
decades,
that
right?
yeah,
They should
and
move
so
to
everyone
Mexico, right?
Yes.
does Mexico have good healthcare?
No, I don't think so.
No, okay,
But that's because they're kind of economically...
right. But
challenged.
Thailand has better healthcare than Australia, but they're
Does it?
economic challenge. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
if you've got teeth issues, Harry, you can go
My
on
name's Campbell.
Campbell.
He misses him already.
Campbell, you can go on a teeth
I don't think that
teeth resort
A teeth
journey.
A contithi.
Yeah, you got problems with your
yeah.
teeth. Yeah, a contithi. You go to you go to Thailand. You stay in a resort. You get your teeth done up, all right, and you recover in the luxury of the resort. Have $4 cocktails, and you come back to Perth, and you don't have to
Can I
pay
get-
nearly as much as
I don't think that's a
because Australia doesn't have
government health
dental care
thing.
on our.
That's not a government healthcare thing. Isn't it just it's cheaper in Thailand because on average everyone's poorer. So for a doctor, a well-paid doctor in Thailand, you don't have to pay hardly anything.
Right, but they're just as the doctors are just as highly educated as Australia.
Yeah, but it's not a governmental.
Isn't that
It's just
a
cheaper, you know, it's like-
exchange rate thing?
Right.
Yeah, it's basically an
But
exchange rate thing.
dental care in Australia is not subsidised. Just as breast implants aren't subsidised, right?
Oh, outrageous.
Is breast
That's
reduction
why-
surgery subsidized?
You can go on a breast
Breast tiki.
breast implant tiki. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know quite a few girls have done that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be a little bit frightened. I want to go to a good Thai doctor.
Honestly, I'd want to pay the most I could to get breast implants or any sort of cosmetic surgery. I'd be looking for the doctor that charged the most and saving up longer to get it done.
Let's say that,
to be honest,
the 10 girls that I know that have had breast implants.
10 girls that have had breast implants.
Hot tip: they're all actresses or wannabe actresses. I shouldn't say that because they're probably listening. Only one of them got them done in Perth. Everyone else got them done in Thailand.
I don't know anybody with breast implants, to my knowledge.
Well, you don't meet many females because apparently there's not enough in physics.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's very true.
That's why we need an advert like this in Australia, do we, Fred?
How good... Maybe this is going to come across as a little sexist, but
that's what we're
back in the day, they would have had, because it was a sexist era, this was the past, they would have had a secretarial pool of young ladies crunching numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And presumably the men would socialise with the women in that context. And now we have computers doing that. So the men are socialising with computers instead. Anyway.
Pia points out that people also want breast reduction, and I'd say the 3 girls that I know that have had breast reduction, 2 of them had it in Thailand.
So that's not subsidised either.
Yeah.
But surely that's a healthcare problem as well.
Right, okay, so the one girl that I know close enough to know this, right? She had to, who's the one girl I know who had it done in Perth, she had to literally write an essay to her insurance provider telling how bad her back pains were and how much of an urgent medical issue it was before they let her go, the insurance to cover it, to make it actually financially viable to do it in Perth. Because, breast reduction is not covered by Medicare as well, apparently. At least when she did it, this was 2 years ago.
Well, I don't think much has changed. So are we going to get a national dental scheme?
I don't know. I know the Greens are big about it, and now
they
had some power, but I don't know. They might not get power until mid this year, right? I can't remember.
It's pretty crazy that they don't, or that dental isn't covered. That we've got like so much other stuff covered, But dental's, something that we've got to sort out ourselves.
Sorry.
Weird.
Are you reading Twitter?
Yep.
No.
Anyway.
So, breast implants, breast reductions, it's all happening. And apparently, hot tip, go to Thailand.
Yep. It's not just breast. You can do facelifts and stuff like that. Tucks and tops.
Have you ever thought about getting laser etched abs? Etched on your abs?
No.
Have you seen guys who've had that?
Have you...
well, I've seen Fred's probably done this as well, the Louis Theroux documentary.
Yeah, the guy gets pec implants and calf implants.
Oh, that guy who's like 60 and he's all tight and he's got those funny eyes.
It was really sad at the end.
And he had bicep implants.
He's just talking about how his dad sort of called him ugly and hit him and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I don't want to bring that down.
That was a pretty tragic epi.
But it was like this very clear reason for why this.
I know Fangin Around should be all about bringing the issues about these kind of people, because everyone complains about females and stuff. What? Having these issues. Should be bringing the men's issues before.
Well, that's the point of Feminism Corner.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, we should have a man's
I thought
corner.
we're trying to contradict how offensive we are on a daily basis by having an offensive.
Well, that's why I think Feminist Corner was started, to sort of try to balance the
fair and
offensiveness.
balanced.
Yeah.
I think it's also because I think our Feminism Corner is better than a female's podcast. Because I think they go overboard. We're a bit more. We see the forest. We see the forest. They're looking at the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like our women are most qualified to talk about men's issues as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, dits. So when the new podcast gets started up, which I hear is starting soon.
Vagin Around.
Vagin Around,
No,
I think it's called.
It's Thrash Paddock, James.
Trash bag. We'll have a vote. Should we have a public vote, or did the girls?
I think the girls can decide.
I've yet to receive an email at mail@jimmishfm for the female rebuttal for the Fangin Around podcast to see if they have a name in mind, but we'll see.
I'm excited about that. Are we leaking something here? Are we giving too much away?
Maybe. I can't be bothered to edit it out, so you'll hear it everywhere around the world. Now, I've also linked to apparently people have spotted a meteor crashing into the ocean.
Yeah, the photos are pretty spectacular. So a meteor crash landed. Did we not know this was going to happen?
Various conspiracy theories saying this is just a plane contrail that's being illuminated by the sun.
I agree with that.
Okay. Fred's the scientist is agreeing. Our Twitter followers say we're terrible.
Oh.
Um,
Oh. Well, that's disheartening.
Well,
we put in all this effort.
you know.
We've got all the microphones and...
yeah.
Oh.
I don't want to complain is we have Gimmerish FM. If you want to have a podcast on Gimmerish FM, you email mail@fangaround.com. Mail at gimmerishfm.com and tell them what you want the podcast about, what you want it called, and we'll think about it. Have not received any emails.
We need to pick it. We need to talk about the show later.
Oh, they're complaining about the name. They're complaining about the name, but they haven't suggested any alternatives.
Well, let's not get into a spat.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about this
No,
meteor.
that'd make great radio. We abuse a Twitter follower.
But should we as the Fangin' Around crew be out there on the Yellow Canary paddling out to see what this meteor is and go into our own episode of the Alien or
Do you think it might be
Prometheus?
like?
Did you end up seeing Prometheus? Right?
I want to see it on Thursday, so I'm inviting you guys. Anyway,
At IMAX?
IMAX might be convenient actually. Anyway, let's talk about something else.
So
we
the
need to keep
meteor.
moving. Oh, the meteor. I think it's contrails. Someone would have
Contrails?
measured it. They got radars and stuff. Or an explosion.
So you think it's a cone trail? I thought there was a report that it was a meteor.
It's probably
NASA
not.
would have
It's
said.
probably been not up because of the great failure of technology. But you can go listen to one of the Jimmy Friend podcasts we recorded on the beach at Floret, and during recording we saw like many falling stars. So I'm not surprised that something might have landed in the ocean.
Oh. Yeah, well, maybe. Or could it be some fracking that went offshore, then the gas
fracking,
escaped
yeah.
and ignited? Perhaps. Just think about it, man. Offshore, underground, gas coming out, lighting up.
Did you know Prince believes that contrails are
Yes, are chemtrails.
chemtrails?
Have you heard him talk about it?
He's a bit mad.
He is Loop DeVille about chemtrails.
Is he still Luke DeVille? Are we going to talk
Yeah.
about the big story of this week?
What's
Katie
the big
Holmes
story?
and Tom Story breaking up. Why isn't that on the show
Tom
notes?
Cruise.
Why haven't you added it, Fred? I didn't know
that's your
that
big
was
news.
Why isn't that on the show notes?
Katie and Tom. What's happening?
Katie and Tom.
Apparently she's being stalked by Scientology goons.
it's
I thought she was a Scientology goon.
Nah, she's out. She's leaving.
Did
it
you
to
hear
Tom.
that even crazier thing? That Tom Cruise's 3 wives divorced him 11 years apart, and they were all 33 when they divorced him.
What is that? What? I don't understand the significance.
There's not an 11-year gap between Katie Holmes and Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. She's
No.
33, she's 44.
Oh, in age. Okay.
Yeah.
She's 33.
Okay.
Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
I know, she seems old.
I thought she seems young.
Well, she's only a little bit older.
Oh,
than
Maybe
no,
it's-
I
I
thought
like-
she was young.
The last time I saw her was in Dawson's
Like
Creek.
when we were talking about...
What,
was
so
it-
like, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
No, I
always
mean, we
been
were
that age.
talking about Mandy Moore last week, who's the same age as us.
Mm.
And I was like, I can't believe she's that young.
Yeah.
And the
Look
Katie
at all the
Holmes is
stuff
5
she's
years
done.
older.
What are we
than her,
doing?
Apparently.
Sitting in a shed.
Yeah.
Should have joined Scientology.
Yeah.
Could have been something.
I could have been a contender.
Yeah,
Um,
so, I don't know, he's a bit
So what do
mad.
you think?
Are
think
we
that-
talking about... So we're going to move this topic? What were we talking about before?
Well, we were talking about meteorites before.
no,
now we're talking about
meteor-
Katie
Okay.
Holmes.
Okay, Katie Holmes. For the record...
If we're going to spout uninformed opinions, it should be about celebrity
I got to state my conflicts, right?
You're a Scientologist.
No.
Wink if
Did
you
you
want.
date Katie Holmes?
No.
Did you
Did you
date Tom?
squeeze one out over Katie Holmes?
Nope. I haven't. I can
Tom
honestly say
Cruise?
that. Tom Cruise. Nope.
Top Gun, the
Nope.
shirtless.
But I
The
think
volleyball.
Tom Cruise is our greatest living actor.
Oh, no. Just no.
What, you guys are not Tom Cruise fans?
not anymore.
No,
he went
but
off
he's,
the rails.
but he's not our greatest
I
living
think
actor.
he's been better than ever since he's gone off rails.
I read someone said that I haven't seen Batman, but Christian Bale based his Batman on Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I heard that.
Which is
His
like
Bruce,
really-
he based his Bruce Wayne on
which is
Tom
really
Cruise.
friendly, but like there's not like cold, dead eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that.
So nobody likes Tom Cruise anymore, James.
Why do you like him more than ever? What are his recent projects that are better than ever?
Mission Impossible 3. War of the Worlds is one of my favourite movies of all time, the Steven Spielberg version.
Yeah.
I don't know what else he's done recently.
So those two films
I haven't
are
seen
better.
Rock of Ages.
So those two films are better than Top Gun, better than Days of Thunder.
Oh, yeah, I know. I think those are great films.
No, but you're saying these are better films. These are better than anything he's ever done.
No, you're talking about Tom Cruise's performance in these films.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying he's got better since he
Joined Scientology.
No, he married Katie Holmes. And I'm pretty sure the first film that was released after the Katie Holmes fiasco, which he was accused of promoting by dating Katie Holmes, was War of the Worlds, wasn't it? She was in Batman Begins.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I think as an actor, he kind of jumped the sofa.
Oh!
Wah, 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 wah.
No, I think he's great. I think he's the best actor we have.
I think you're wrong.
He's one of the world's most famous actors yet. I go and watch a movie and I am just not thinking of Tom Cruise at all. I'm thinking of whoever his character is, and it just blows my mind how good he is at doing that. And I realize he's probably playing the same character every movie, but it's just so convincing that I just think of him as not a famous actor playing a role.
You know, he's all right, but I think probably our greatest living actor treasure is really Hot Dogs.
I was craving hot dogs just then. I don't think he has a web presence.
Doesn't he? Not even on Twitter?
There's a Facebook page, but I think it might be fake because it's got things like Hot Dogs had a girlfriend once, but she broke up with Hot Dogs. She said Hot Dogs couldn't multitask. Hot Dogs said, that's bullshit, bitch, because while I was with you, I was banging 3 other hotties at the same time. Hot Dogs life. Life spelt with a Y.
Why?
From experience, make sure you don't have a list when you ask a babe to sit on your face.
There's also the possibility that the real life Tom Cruise is probably a psycho. And it's probably a good thing that Katie Holmes is getting out of there.
Who gets the kids?
Katie does, doesn't she? Isn't she claiming that Tom's mad?
Yeah.
Oh, what? All the women in his life are saying that. It's a conspiracy. No.
Look at those eyes.
No.
So,
way.
what, you think that someone who's like the leader of the Scientology movement is sane?
Oh, it's a conspiracy. Look.
What do you know about
women were
Tell
closest.
us what you know about
What do I know about Scientology?
Yeah.
You're going to have a world of hurt, James.
Have you done the test?
Start bagging Scientology.
Have I done the test?
No,
I haven't done the Scientology test.
No, I don't know anything about it. If Scientologists listening, email us, mailbag@fangaround.com. Tell us what it's all about. We'll give you equal justice.
No, we won't.
What? Oh, your lady friends messaging us to say don't talk about Scientology. She's a Scientologist.
Inappropriate. What?
I
She's
think
a
you're a hot dog friend. No, you're hot dogs jokes, I think.
That wasn't my jokes. I was reading them off the internet.
That's not my pornography. I was just looking at it on the internet.
I don't know. I thought we'd worked out the censorship that it shouldn't happen.
Yeah, well, we don't have to abide by it.
Okay, what's your thoughts on Scientology? Did you see? You know what? It's better than I thought it would be. Battlefield Earth.
Are you excited about the new Scientology film that's coming out?
No.
About L. Ron Hubbard?
Is there a new one?
Maybe.
Battlefield Earth not by a Scientologist.
It's worth watching.
So is this film by Scientologists?
No.
About Scientology?
It's about Scientology, but it's like
just how much
it's like Scientology. You know, they're not actually saying it's about it's looking at the life of L. Ron Hubbard.
But it's anti or pro Scientology?
It's critical. It's a critical look at Scientology. I can't even remember what it's called. Fred, can you look it up? Scientology movie. I got excited about it. It's got someone great in it. I can't remember. Is it John C. Reilly? Don't know. No, it's Philip Seymour Hoffman, maybe? I don't know. This is the worst news I've got. I've got no news.
Okay.
What's in the show notes?
You're talking about the new Paul P.T. Anderson film.
Is that? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And yeah, it's possibly about Scientology, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Have you seen the trailer?
No. I'm excited. I haven't even seen the trailer.
Campbell, check out the trailer when you go home.
I'll check it out. We'll put it in the show notes. I just like saying
it's, it's given space like Drive.
Yeah. Well, P.T. Anderson.
So you know nothing about the plot from watching the trailer.
Oh, great. I don't want to know anything.
Yeah.
I hate it when they're like, here's the movie in 2 seconds. And you go, oh, well, fuck that. And P.T. Anderson's just a dreamboat, you know? So.
What's the question of the week? the fail-safe question. Are we going to do it in order?
Are we skipping that far ahead?
I don't know. I thought we'd just bounce back.
Well, we've no.
We're going to go into the next one.
A long show.
Well, we're up to the 3 boobs of Total Recall are back. And I feel that's self-explanatory.
Yes. No, Campbell's Corner.
I didn't know they were making a remake.
Are we doing?
Oh, we've talked about this before.
Well, it's a Gina special. We're going to get into that. Did you watch the?
No, I didn't watch it.
Who's that?
All you had to do was watch a TV show.
Sorry.
I watched it.
You, what? Like I said, she's ugly. A bitch. Nobody likes her.
To say that Fred's the most sexist person on earth. He's just like, oh, she's a woman. She must be ugly. She's gonna be valid if she's pretty.
That was the first. I mean, ugly on the inside, James. You're just reading that from your sexist point of view.
I'm sorry.
Ugly like mean, you know. Get out of your macho culture, James.
Yeah, God.
Did you watch the show?
No.
It was meant to be the Gina special. I
don't like the idea of a Gina
Jemina saying watching the thing, and you didn't watch it, Fred.
No.
I watched it.
Well, we can't talk about it, can we?
I'll watch it this week.
Spoiler alert.
She's
Gina Reinhardt's a horrible woman. And at the end, she fucks over everyone.
Yeah.
I thought I disliked her before. I dislike her a lot more now.
Nobody likes her. Well, we're going to talk about this next week.
So you're a bit pro Rose Porteous now.
Actually, watching it, I wasn't. But watching it, I'm like, Rose v. Gina.
Yeah.
At least Rose has like got a bit of funky glamour about her.
Yeah.
One of the great things about that doco was
and stuff.
the awesome archival footage they had of Rose in her heyday.
Yeah.
Taking us through a tour of her mansion.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted more of that.
I know.
wanted more of it.
I was just like, this
Tell us
is
if you know at
amazing.
home, is there a doco about Rose that we can find where we can just see the
But
full
the whole
footage of it?
frame-up job that Gina concocted, that was psychotic.
Yeah.
To have her thrown in jail.
Isn't it crazy? Like at the time, I remember that being in the news. Because of my racist upbringing, I assumed it was the Filipino that was doing the dodgy stuff.
Well, look, unfortunately that situation plays into a lot of negative stereotypes.
Yeah. She's the nurse.
She was the caregiver from a foreign country. She's young and beautiful, and she marries this ultra-rich billionaire man who's really old just after his wife died. I think they got married months after.
What was the girl who was in Playboy that was
Anna Nicole Smith? She married... That was like... That was the stereotype.
She was like WA's Annie Nicole Smith, but she was the exotic Portofino...
Filipino?
It's like a mushroom, isn't it?
Mushroom in the bread.
Wow. Yeah, so unfortunately she fell into a lot of those stereotypes.
My favourite pizza, if anyone wants to order.
Portofino. I quite like the Four Seasons. I don't know if you know about Four Seasons pizzas. They're lovely.
No.
Yeah, a lot of stereotypes, a lot of negative stereotypes. So you would assume, she's up to shifty, dodgy stuff. But no. Gina was up to
I understand my kid self at the time was
Yeah.
a racist. I assumed that the Filipino was up to no good, and that possibly she was, but they were both equally, if anything, they were equally up to no good.
Yeah, well, Gina framed Rose Porteous for murdering Lang Hancock.
Yeah, because when you're a kid...
And paid hundreds of thousands. It was about millions of dollars for false witnesses to testify.
$200,000 per witness.
Did she get strung up for it? Did she get charged?
No, because she put it under... Gina Reinhardt and her lawyers said that it was covering...
witness protection
for them, because they were... would potentially be under attack from other people trying to cover their traces. So people received, $200,000, $300,000 payments to testify that Rose Porteous had asked them to murder her husband. And there was a huge list of people that got paid off. Unbelievable. How is this not getting talked about to this day? That blows my mind.
It just... through my childhood, because and you think about this woman. Not all our listeners are from Perth, but this is like the Anna Nicole Smith story, but happening in our own home state.
But imagine if Anna Nicole Smith Oh no.
Yeah,
There's no analogy. I can't.
Well, probably, but I mean, like the guy she married was worth 88 million. The Lang Hancock was worth billions. You know, it's even a thing on a bigger scale.
So now, that was, how long ago was that? Like 20 years ago or something that Lang Hancock died?
It was early 90s.
Early 90s?
So we would have been like 7 or 8.
So that's what Gina was carrying on about then. That's how she was acting then.
Yeah.
Now she's, buying out Fairfax, wanting to control,
the board.
Wanting to essentially control Australia's
This is
press.
old media. Like in 2012, she wants to buy papers that have declining...
But, so she can control it,
Yeah.
essentially, and control editorial.
Everyone knows that now, though, right? Don't they?
And Fairfax has restructured to try to avoid her getting to do anything.
If Fairfax puts out an article saying, we love iron ore mining, surely everyone's going to look at that and just go, bullshit.
Yeah, but if they do that for 10 years, if they keep doing that for 20 years, what are people going to think?
Yeah,
the thing is, old media gets propped up, I don't want to get into a huge rant on Fangin Around podcast, but Apple last week just proved that they're propping up old media. Last year they announced that they are released a new product called Newsstand, whereas if you have an iPhone, your iPad, you can subscribe to old media magazines and newspapers directly on your iPad from a built-in iPad without downloading any additional software. They announced the new podcast app, right, which you have to download separately. Podcast being new media, like us, that anyone can make, and it's up to you to decide, right? And now you have to do that separately. So we have a huge disadvantage of not being on the home screen anymore. That's, and the home screen of iPhone is the biggest market in the world right now. And they've deliberately decided we're going to prop up old media and these crappy magazines that sell you $5 issues, and they still give you ads for those $5 issues, and it's just a PDF of their content that they made for the print world. And they're not propping up, new mediums like podcasts where we're sitting here, we're listening to our live listeners on Twitter, listening to their feedback.
Can I just put out that we're also completely uninformed? Have no reporters, no fact-checking apart from us Googling what we're talking about as we talk about it.
But how do you know that they're... It's wrong of you to presume that old media is fact-checking, Fred.
But haven't you seen the stats where they've gone through new media and blogs and Tumblr or whatever, and like 98%, someone says, "Oh, check out this
cat
story."
Photos?
No, it all goes back
because
to
there's a direct link.
An actual investigative
There's
journalist.
a direct link, right? And that goes there, right? If you go to news.com.au or smh.com.au, Sydney Morning Herald, Fairfax or News Limited, and they omit all links to the sources they've used for the thing, so you can't see them, right? If it's a YouTube video they're reporting on, because they want to get the hits, they just strip the YouTube video, put it in their own player, right?
No, but
which
I'm not
is
talking
Flash
about
only,
that,
not
Joe
HTML5
James.
like YouTube, and then they report it just to get hits because that's what advertisers on their site want.
I'm talking about investigative journalism, though, because I just heard... I can't remember who was talking about how, a blog can't pay for someone to go to Libya to report on the overthrowing of Gaddafi, That's ridiculous.
Actually,
why
I think there
would
was a
SMH
Kickstarter recently for embedding journalists in a political war zone. In a war zone.
But why would Fairfax
Independent
do
news.
that when they know they're going to get more hits from people reporting on what's happening in the new Big Brother show?
Well, they do it, though, right? So...
Anyway,
Gina's terrifying. Must be stopped.
Shame on you, Fred, for not supporting our Gina special.
And she helped
Our much
kill off
hyped. We've been hyping it for the last 2 episodes.
I know. And she helped kill off the mining tax.
Oh, her passionate thing saying...
Oh, that was revolting. Forget the empowered speech at the end of Snow White and the Hunter. Yeah.
Like...
That was just revolting.
Can I get
revolting.
I'm going to make a T-shirt with Gina on it.
What's it going to say?
You're not going to watch the documentary before.
Will it say miscongeniality?
It was so weird seeing her son...
Her face on Jabba.
It was so weird seeing her son drive in the dodgy BMW around Herdsman Lake, and I'm like, I know that. I drive to JB Hi-Fi once a week.
Oh, it's just awful. It's just awful. And
Are you guys cool with Clive Palmer, though? Because he's been all up in the Liberal Party's face to get lobbyists off the party.
God. We have just had the most shocking Twitter statement in the history of Fangin' Around.
Oh, what is it?
Watching it?
What is it? What's happened?
Pia.
What's she
I've never seen Mulan.
Miss PCM, the biggest spooker of Mulan as the greatest Disney princess Disney princess movie of all time, claims she's claims she's never seen Mulan.
Why would you say it's your favourite movie if you've never seen it?
But she didn't say that. If we look back on the tweet record, which we can quite easily...
No, the tweet record's quite different.
No, it's exactly what you're talking about.
At Bree's housewarming party,
this is
she
too
was
personal.
going on about Mulan, about how awesome it was, and, it made her feel at home, because before that film came out, she felt ostracized because we only had white princesses and red Indian princesses from the...
That's not the right term.
Native American
That's the one.
princesses that were in Pocahontas. The film.
I'm quite scandalised because I seem to recall in high school having a chat with her about Mulan, or at least it coming up.
And you know what? This is not something about Asian princesses. I've met people, Russian girls, or who have
who watched
USSR
Anastasia
background and watched Anastasia. I've asked them the exact same questions as was Anastasia meaningful to them, or was it
well,
disrespectful?
It would be like for us, how when Crocodile Dundee came out, and we were like, oh, at last we're up on screen,
screen.
Recognized.
We feel we're represented accurately by the Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, and then in Crocodile Dundee 2, where he went to New York, and you were like, oh, finally, breaking out of these shackles of, the tyranny of distance. We're there, we're visible.
It's like Big Bang Theory.
All right.
She says, I've never seen it, but she's the only Asian Disney princess, so she's my favorite.
Well, that's a...
Hypocritical. That's a bit racist, I think. I identify with her race. That's the only reason I like her.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's that thing called?
Hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Is it hypocrisy?
Affirmative action.
So Gina's special failed.
Yeah, no Gina's special.
Well, we should have joined in.
Next week, we're going to have a Gina/Hulk Hogan special where Fred will actually check the show notes.
Well, because that's the next thing in our show notes is, Fred, have you read the Hulk Hogan?
No.
All right. The Mad Lies of Hulk Hogan. Have you read it? No. All right. On to the next one. They're making a Total Recall remake.
Yep.
They should just call it a Total Recall recall.
Yep.
A total recall.
I haven't watched it.
Why haven't they called it that?
I'm totally pro the remake.
Totally Recalled. Why aren't they doing this?
To Perthquake.
Perthquake. Totally Recalled. Sorry, what are you saying, James?
I think I said in a previous episode I'm pro
Totally Recalled.
Yeah, because it's not a remake, it's just a different interpretation of the original source material, right?
Yeah, okay. It's another adaptation of
the Philip K. Dick short story. Yeah.
So that's fair enough.
And I'm all about that.
That's cool. But apparently...
It's like saying Baz Luhrmann's Great Gatsby is a remake of the Robert Redford Great Gatsby in the 1970s. I'm like, no. There's like 3 other versions of it. It's based on a novel. Everyone has this interpretation of the novel.
Has someone said that?
The dumb media said that.
Oh, the dumb media.
The News Limited, the Rupert Murdoch media. Obviously aren't sponsoring.
Murdoch. There are a lot of questions when you say you're going to do a Total Recall adaptation. The first of which is, will Arnold Schwarzenegger be in it again? No. And the second question is, will there be the 3-boobed chick in it?
Yeah. And is that camp?
I got to say, looking at the preview, it looks quite well done. The 3 boobs.
Better than the original?
Better than the original.
I mean, the original was quite incredible. The first adaptation, if we're going to get technical. It was pretty... We've looked at it before, haven't we? When we talked about Gina and her ambitions to mine Mars, I think we talked about getting your ass to Mars, and then we were looking at Total Recall for a while.
It's probably one of our favourite subjects on Fangin' Around is Mars.
Mars mining.
Fred, have you ever fantasized about a woman having 3 boobs?
No. I'm not answering that question. No, actually, I can answer that question. No.
Oh, what about when you saw it?
It's
in
not
Total
attractive.
Recall.
It's not attractive.
But did you
It's
think
wrong.
about it?
What do you mean?
Well, you thought about it, right? When you looked at it, you thought about it.
I didn't find it appealing.
Did you look at it and then she's like, hey, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger's like too busy to even pay attention?
Isn't there? Yeah.
Do you, your kind of, adolescent brain, did you go, why didn't he stop what he was doing and have sex with
I don't think I saw Total Recall till I was quite old.
Oh.
Probably I'd
Oh,
seen
okay.
boobs in real life before that. So.
Oh.
Isn't there some other film? There is another film. It's like, it's not Clerks. It's some film where they're like mostly in a mall or something like that.
Mallrats?
And
And
she's got
there's
three boobs. Three nipples.
No,
three
three
boobs.
nipples.
Ah.
Which isn't as amazing. And one of them's a gummy bear or something that she like melted and stuck on her boob.
That sad scene I remember. That stuck with me. I must have
three
seen that.
nipples.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do we have any other news? Anything else in the show notes? 'Cause maybe we'll take a break and
Flow
we'll come
Rider
back.
Whistle lyrics.
No.
Flow Rider Whistle.
Though the most intense video game of all time.
Oh.
We're going to take a break now because we don't have D&D. We're doing extended edition. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
So, just while we went inside, we had a few pancakes. Thanks, James. I've poured myself a
snack.
Bacardi Cola. And while we were gone, we were talking a little bit more about Drive and about how you can actually purchase the jacket in Drive, which Fred initially was quite thrilled at and then quickly, probably in the space of the same sentence, said that
That
it was
always
the
happens.
stupidest thing.
That always happens.
And that who would want to wear it or buy it. Or buy it and wear it.
I mean, like I said, told Cam, it's a bit too literal. But I think if you bought a jacket inspired by Drive, it would be cool. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, so something kind of satiny, sports jackety.
Just a bit weird, but kind of cool.
Like a golden UWA hockey jacket or something. That was metallic.
How once it got blood on it, Fred, how long would you keep it on?
What? After I murdered someone?
Yeah.
I'd get rid of it really quickly because I don't want to burn the evidence. But I'm a little bit more pragmatic than he was.
But then wouldn't everyone kind of go, hey, what happened to that
Well, no
jacket you
jacket.
wear all the time? How would you explain that away?
Spilt red wine on it.
You wouldn't try to take it to a dry cleaners and just be like, oh, I cut myself shaving? And half my guts fell out.
Guts fell out.
Now, just before we left off, we were talking about Campbell's. We were in Campbell's corner, and we were about to ask, "What's the most intense video game of all time?"
Well, I haven't played it. I read an article about a new game that's currently in sort of playtesting, being playtested. It's called Spy Party. And I read a review of it, and it got me so pumped. But it's
So, can you explain the gameplay to me?
No, I don't quite understand
Because
how
I
it
read
works.
the thing before, and I'm just a bit confused.
Why? I've heard of this party. We possibly have discussed it on the Sidecast, if not the Fangin Around podcast. But what I've worked out is Spy Party is there's a 2-player game. One person is at a party with people, and they're a spy. The other person is a sniper sitting on a building on the side of the street, looking through the windows through the scope, and the sniper has to kill the person in the party who they think is a spy. So the person who is the spy in the party has to pretend like they're everyone else. So it's kind of a simulation. The person who is the spy has to walk around the party with trying to behave in the same fashion as everyone around them, so that the sniper can't distinguish them from the other people around.
But are the other people or computers?
No, they're AI. So you have to pretend like you're AI to mix in.
Walk into a wall repeatedly.
And
I could be totally wrong, but I
think that's the gist. And you have to you've got a certain mission you have to complete as a spy, I think.
Yeah.
While being undetected. Apparently the pace of the game is unlike any other game ever made, sort of thing, where you're just sort of trying to not do anything almost. Like when people say, oh, I played GTA, whatever iteration, so much, or I felt so into the world, I just was driving the speed limit, obeying traffic lights, you know? Imagine if that's what you were doing, trying to evade being killed. And I think that's what this game is. It's you trying to act like nothing's happening. But this early review is just written really well and quite exciting. And I remember reading someone's review of their first night of Minecraft, playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
When the darkness comes and and this
Which we've never played.
I've never played it actually. No,
we could do it as a group.
I'm still getting through Saints Row.
But yeah, that review got me pumped, and this review got me pumped just as a work of short fiction. I guess.
I have a feeling this gameplay was inspired by Assassin's Creed, right? Which released sort of in their own little way. They revolutionized multiplayer gaming because, not in a good way because it didn't really take off, but every big budget game was getting panned for their crappy multiplayer modes, and then along came Assassin's Creed. I think it was 2 where they introduced multiplayer, and it's a very similar idea to this one where you have you guys ever played Assassin's Creed?
I haven't, no.
But you can sort of walk around. It's an open world game, but you can walk around in sort of stealth mode where you, even if you run into someone with your controller, the game character, the AI, will try and just touch that person gently and walk past them so not to cause a ruckus or a fight. It's like, oh, you walked into me. Because, most players just walk around the game going, oh, I don't give a stuff all these non-player characters I run into because I'm just going to the objective. But in this game, obviously, being stealthy is important because you're an assassin. So the gameplay the multiplayer mode that really took off in that thing was where you had to pretend to be a citizen in the crowd, and there's one person trying to pick out what players are assassins and who are just AI bots. So I think that's inspired by that gameplay mode that they had. And this is just a pure form where the whole game is based around this, rather than that was just one mode of Assassin's Creed multiplayer segment. James's corner. Do you have a corner, Fred? Did you get your science article of the week?
No. Oh, I did sort of, but
isn't it science you want to talk about?
Nah.
People are demanding the science.
Apparently they're going to announce the Higgs boson. So.
What's the Higgs boson, Fred?
I don't really know. I don't understand it.
Okay.
But it really annoys me how people call it the God particle, because that's bullshit.
You don't believe in God?
It's not important whether I believe in God or not. The particle's got nothing to do with God.
Okay. Do you think there's a particle out there that proves the existence of God?
No.
No. Okay.
That's the whole point of science. It doesn't invoke no God. Anyway. It's
what if they're like that? Like we say, what happens if you hit the edge of the universe and what's on the other side?
You can't. I think we've been through this before.
Yeah.
You can't.
So science just can't explain it. Yeah, other people try and fill in the blanks by saying, oh, God's on their side.
Yeah, exactly. Science doesn't answer those questions. And cannot answer those questions. Because ultimately, you can't disprove the existence of God, because you can always say, well, God just didn't show himself
God exists in the spaces where science can't. So, and that area keeps shrinking year by year.
You can have a God that's a clockwork God that's set up the universe with these physical laws, and we're discovering them, but he doesn't.
Well, of course, but his role as defined by the church keeps shrinking, even in their admittance.
Yeah.
In that he's everywhere, but it used to be that he did this and he did that, and then it was like, we can explain how that happens. So he shrinks and he gets smaller and smaller constantly. Although they still, claim that he created it all and set it in motion. Now is what they're saying. He set it in motion. He's not fiddling around all the time.
So why do they want to call it the God particle? Is that like if
bullshit.
You discover it, you unlock the secrets of
some scientists made the mistake of calling it the. I think he means it's God. It's a God-like particle in that it's very sort of.
We only know
difficult to understand,
not because they've seen it,
and also it's like the ultimate goal,
So once we've found the Higgs boson, right? Once we've discovered it and know it's real, we can do some other math, and then there might be some other particle that might become the God particle after that. Is that what you're saying?
I think I need to read up on this stuff,
We won't get all the answers by just...
No, I think the existence of the Higgs boson is predicted. And if it's found, it will really mean that this whole theory is all there. All the pieces, they've found all the pieces for this
So all the
theory.
stuff is speculated about.
Strings and all that crap, I think that still exists. That's just on top of this stuff.
Okay.
So it'll be a good indicator. So basically, I heard a talk from this guy, which is basically...
If they prove that it doesn't exist, will that be catastrophe for science or everything we know?
It's always good with... Either way is fine.
Right, I know that, theoretically, but will a lot of people's work be thrown out and people be out of jobs because they base their work like on the Higgs boson?
But you just change your work. You know what I mean? No, it'll be good. Either way is a good outcome. And the talk I went to by the guy who runs the LHC basically said that they're either going to find it.
Brian Cox?
No.
Is it Coxie?
It wasn't Brian Cox.
Is it Big Coxie?
Is he friends with Coxie?
I don't know.
I thought Coxie was full into the LHC.
I don't know. I've never met...
Large
what is
Hadron
he?
Collider.
LHC.
Other listeners.
Yeah, he's there. That's what he does.
That's what his job is.
Yeah,
right?
he's there doing shit.
He's big time.
He's at that.
He's big time
cutting
at
edge.
LHC.
This wasn't that guy. This is...
Big old Coxie.
And you didn't dare to say, "Oh, have you met Coxie?"
This is pre-Coxie.
Yeah.
Coxie was just some Barney.
No.
Oh, bull.
Oh, he was all the time.
Well,
He was probably in his pop band with his number one single around the world.
I got to get the story, but one of the guys in the lab was invited to go on Coxie's program and get flown to South Africa.
Oh, what? And he threw a hissy fit and went, I'm not working with
I
that.
can't remember why he didn't go.
Oh, that's the worst story.
Don't you
I
get
know,
to
I
go to
gotta-
those big telescopes that on top of the mountain you get mountain sick by climbing up to them?
I don't know. Oh, SKA news. I already told you the SKA news.
Oh,
We got half of it.
Half of it? What's new?
No, that's it.
Oh.
No more news.
Yeah, we got half of that's the worst news, though. Isn't it?
James's Corner. Nora Ephron passed away.
Yes.
Writer of Sleepers in Seattle. You've Got Mail. Harry Met Sally. You guys big fans?
No.
I have not seen any of those films.
I don't think I have seen a complete...
I heard
copy
that she
of it.
passed, and I was like, oh. And then I realized, never seen any of
She
those.
defined a generation.
She defined rom-com.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Which we were talking about. I said we were going to bring it back earlier when we were talking about rom-com.
Yeah.
She almost invented the genre.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen them.
Is
But
Sleepers in Seattle a rom-com? I thought it was just a rom.
Oh,
Drime.
It's calm and a bit of rom for it. It's always raining in Seattle. It's really funny. That's why I don't sleep, because the rain's pattering the roof all the time.
Really?
And they meet in the Empire State Building, and it's like, hey, we should be in love.
Then they do a meet me back here.
So your lady friends have never talked about their...
Zoe watched Sleepless in Seattle this week in remembrance.
Mm-hmm. What'd she think?
Top 10 films of all time.
That's
Hers.
her in her top 10?
Yep.
Wow. What about You've Got Mail?
I think that's in Bryony's top
Yeah, that's what
one
Harry
or two.
Only the film I've recently rewatched. I just watched that 2 weeks ago. I rewatched it. And I probably jinxed it by killing her off.
Yeah,
by watching it.
probably.
I think, do we talk about Fangin around? I think I said, what would I be consuming? I was like, You've Got Mail. And, yeah, I mean, it's tragic. She was 68 years old. She'd only just recently directed Julia and Julia, and she got pneumonia, and that mixed up with some other illness she just had, and that's it. That's the end. I guess that's what life is. So,
Anyway, can we move on to something else?
no, Fred. I want to
is
know
having a
how it
moment here.
affected you, Fred.
The answer is not at all.
You haven't watched them. Are you going to go out and watch them now she's dead? Like,
Why would I do
all
it
these
just-
artists that became big after that.
Why would I do it just because she's dead?
Pardon?
Just because she's dead doesn't
No.
change her
You didn't watch that movie with Zoe? Why didn't you watch that movie with Zoe, Fred?
She'd watched it before I met her. And I hate rom-coms.
Before you met her, so it was
She
quite
know-
a few years ago.
She knows that.
Question of the week.
Failsafe.
Did you guys see this? I've talked about this on the previous Fangin
No,
round.
I've never seen it. And I don't want to read... Yeah. I don't want to read.
Well, I'm going
read
to
their plot,
anyone.
yeah.
I'm going to spoil
I
it
quite
for you.
like just reading plot synopsis.
So you've read the plot synopsis first?
No.
I had a friend.
Well, I didn't want to. Honestly, sorry. I just want to preface this. I saw it in the show notes, and I saw it was a link, but I quite enjoy being shocked by the question of the week and having to respond just like in the spur of the moment. So I avoided reading it.
Yeah, I might go that route as well.
I'll give you a synopsis of how the question of the week comes from this book that was turned into a play, which was turned into a movie, came about. And I'll be terrible at. So you're probably better off pausing right now, reading the Wikipedia show notes, and then...
Isn't it like a... from glancing over everything, just like a Doctor Strangelove?
Yeah. It's a apocalyptic tale, I guess.
But it's got the
to
whole...
do with the 1950s
I
people
think
going
we
to
all
war and
watched
bombing.
the opening of it.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it before on what I've been consuming, and I said you guys will see it, and you guys said you were interested, and I said I'm going to bring it back as a question of the week, but I don't.
So
think
what's
you guys
the question
ever
of
got
the
around to
week?
seeing it. Okay, so what happens in the movie, right? Is this is a bad description, but America, through a stuff up of communication, right, accidentally drops nuclear bombs on Moscow, right? So, what do you think is the Russians' immediate reaction? Remember, this is set in like the 1950s.
Bomb them back.
Yeah, start total nuclear war.
Yep.
Right? Because the whole idea of the nuclear war up to then was mutually assured destruction. So, if they've destructed you, their capital city.
Sorry.
The idea being is that Russia's going to bomb them. But it's all a communication breakdown. America didn't mean to bomb Moscow. It was just a miscommunication with their bombers. But it still killed... I mean, I don't know what the population of Moscow was back then, but it killed a lot of people. So a lot of stuff happens in between, but of course, as soon as nuclear weapons happen, protocols are activated. The president is sent off with a plane in one direction. The vice president of America is sent off in the other next direction. The president's plane becomes lost in radar contact, so it's the vice president's decision. He says, "Yep, let's. We know that the Russians are going to start bombing us with nuclear weapons now because we blew up Moscow, so we got to do the same thing. And let's just accept that the world is going to end because we're just going to bomb the hell out of everything." Until there's nothing left. Eventually, the president comes back online. It turns out his plane didn't crash, and he tries to save the day. His solution for saving the day is offering to bomb New York themselves, as in America will bomb New York in return for having destroyed Moscow, if Russia promises to stop all other forms of nuclear attack. So that, the 4 million people that died in Moscow is matched by the 4 million people that die in New York, and that'll be the end of it. All nuclear war will cease, and that'll be even Stevens. And so the Russian president agrees with this. The American president sends the signal to Harvey Keitel, and this is in the movie, who's the B-52 bomber.
He doesn't actually contact Harvey.
Yeah, well, this is a fictional story, right? He contacts in the movie the George Clooney movie I'm talking about. He connects with Harvey Keitel, who's the bomber of the B-52, who's leaving USA to go bomb Europe, and he says, "Hey, don't go too far. You're being ordered to bomb Manhattan and the New York, the 5 boroughs.
Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, and
population 10 million people. And his family lives there, but he's been ordered to do it. So it's his choice. He's in the seat of the bomber. You've been told you can bomb New York, kill your family, but stop complete worldwide destruction. Or you could save your family, not bomb it, but the Russians will see that you haven't bombed it, and they will start complete total nuclear fallout.
Yeah, so you'd bomb it.
So that's what you're saying, Fred? You would kill your family. Boom.
Well, so you don't bomb it, and your family
What's going to be the first place that...
Right,
So-
but there's
so-
the guilt
so then
of the
so-
fact that you pulled the trigger on the bombs
No, but
and
you
killed
didn't.
your own family.
But it's not like if you don't
So
bomb
you
it.
can think of analytically like this way.
It's not like if you don't bomb it, the Americans will just send up the other plane to bomb it, or
Mhm.
the Russians will bomb it.
Yeah.
So your family's boned. I guess you could try and get your family the hell out of New York as quickly as possible.
Warn them early, yeah.
Yeah. But the whole point of...
I mean, it's a time-sensitive
I mean,
situation because
effectively, if you're-
Russia's sent the bombers are on the way. They're waiting for a response.
Yeah, so bomb it.
Yeah, you'd do it. You would kill your own family to save the
Well,
world.
it's like if someone put a gun in your hand and says, shoot your family or we'll set off World War III.
Mhm.
Would you do it?
Would you? That's what I'm saying, Fred.
I don't know. I'd think about
Would
it.
you? Yeah, you would think about it, wouldn't you?
Maybe.
Christ.
Because... Yeah, well, okay, so Campbell.
Campbell?
Campbell, feel free to moderate this.
what about you?
God, I wouldn't want to be in a pressure situation with you, Fred.
Well, no, because usually if it's like they start World War III, if you don't, your family's probably going to die anyway.
Oh, they might not, though. They've got a better chance of surviving that than you dropping a nuke on them.
Yeah, but I mean, think of everyone else.
Yeah.
You're in the pilot seat, Campbell.
I'd probably try to land
Liz
my
and
jet.
Naz are on the ground.
I'd land the jet, like, in Fifth Ave,
Yeah.
get them to meet me, and then zoom off.
No mobile phone. See, and then you just get shot, right? You get shot for desertion.
Or you would crash hitting the buildings with your wide wingspan that couldn't even land at Pierce Air Force Base.
Yes, there is that. What would I do?
Would you save the world over your family? Or if you lost your family, there's no point saving the world because you've lost everything?
Yeah, you know... Probably wouldn't bomb New York.
You
What would
take
you
the
do
risk?
then? Take the risk?
Yeah.
You just bail out,
Send the world
parachute
in
down, tell
Yeah,
them to
'cause
get the
like
hell out of...
I'd probably parachute down.
But-
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
200... 100 times more people won't die? Because you didn't kill 10 million? A billion will die?
Well, look, I wouldn't want to drop a bomb on anyone.
No, that's... Everyone
And I wouldn't
knows
want to
that.
drop a bomb on my family.
Yeah, but you don't...
So I wouldn't do either of those.
No, see, that's weaseling your way out of the choice. It's
No,
not a
no,
choice
I'm
to
just
not do
saying.
it.
No, I'm just saying what I wouldn't want to do.
Yeah, well, of course, nobody wants to.
So I
But
wouldn't.
if you don't do that, 60 nuclear weapons will land on
Yeah, but that's
yours.
someone else's choice, and if they make the same choice that I've made, then they won't bomb either.
Hmm.
See, if everyone makes my choice of not
Everyone's
bombing
safe.
people, then everyone gets to live.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I know not everyone's going to make my choice,
Exactly.
but
So
that choice starts
that's
with
gotta
one
pay
person.
into your decision.
Yeah, but that choice has to start with an individual.
Hmm.
And if I say, look, I'm not going to pull the trigger, and then the next pilot goes, you know what, I'm not going to bomb Manhattan either. And then the Russian kind of goes, you know what, I heard this was a big mistake. Maybe I won't bomb them.
Hmm.
And so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Why can't we all just get along?
Yeah,
That's
you're
what
an
I wanna know.
idealist.
Yeah, I reckon I'd pull that ejection lever.
No.
Parachute down.
Lock it in. I'm bombing the shit out of New York.
Would you tell your family to get out of town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's 1950.
Hells yeah.
How are you going to do that?
Is it
Genius.
1950?
You parachute down, find
Hail
a
a
phone
cab?
booth.
You've been watching too much Saints Row, playing too much Saints Row, James. Parachute out of a plane to land on your house and just like...
Yeah, well,
How'd you
you've
get
got the
that?
training.
Well, B-52s had ejector seats. They would have parachuted.
I might have
realised the-
B-52. Sorry, I
I
didn't
realised
realise.
the survival rate isn't that great ejecting out of B-52, but... you
Sorry,
can.
I didn't realise I was in a B-52.
Hmm.
Well, you know, I could parachute, just jump out the back.
Yeah.
Just set it on a course out
But you're
to sea
saying what
and
you're...
jump out.
You're not sure what you'd do, but you're saying you definitely would never drop the bomb on New York.
Yeah, I don't think I'd do that.
So you wouldn't make it
I couldn't
past-
even even drop a bomb on an enemy country.
You'd never
Let
make it
alone
as you'd be screened.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be there in the first place.
Okay. All right.
They'd be like, "How do you feel about bombing civilians?" I'd be like, no."
So you want to know what Hyvica told you?
Yeah, tell me.
What would you do, James?
What would you do?
You'd do whatever Harvey Keitel did.
No, I'd probably do Campbell as well. I'm a masochist. I want to see what happens when the world goes to war.
No, you love everyone. Stop trying to be macho.
What he does, he pulls the trigger on the bombs. They release, and then he pulls out his pistol and blows his head off.
No, well, we should have done a Doctor Strangelove and ride that fucking down.
The thing is, they were in a situation of chaos. They weren't bombing their own family. I don't think you'd be that excited about rodeoing down on the bomb when it's your own family you're killing.
Yeah, you'd probably do that. Yeah, I guess that's a pretty smart option. No, but that's the dumb option. If you're going to do that...
Well, which brings to my second
know.
question, where you see in movies how people get in this situation they can never get out of, and so they just commit suicide. Would you guys do that?
No.
Or would you want to deal with the consequences of your actions?
No, I'd deal with that.
Yeah, I think you could deal with that. I think
It's a bit of a cop-out to kill
Yeah,
yourself.
well, no.
I mean, in World War III is a bit of a different situation.
No, but even World War III, I'd rather face that than face
Yeah, I guess
absolute
fake
nothingness.
Yeah, true, fair enough.
And as an atheist, it's like, well, you know, I don't think I'm going to get a big hug and a kiss and pearly gates and stuff. You know, this is it. Got to make the best of it.
So let's get on to something frivolous. Car eyelashes.
Oh, man. Liz
No,
pointed these out to me a few months ago. And she was like, I saw this thing at uni. I couldn't believe it. This car had eyelashes. I was
So
like...
this is our famous Fangin car news section.
Car news. Yeah.
I
saw
they're
these.
pretty cool.
The reason they're in the show is because I saw...
Hold on.
Look,
I
if
was
you're a girl...
at the Perth airport today, and I saw a pair of car eyelashes on a car.
Did you like it?
It was a blue, three-door car, like
What? $3. Oh,
yeah,
hatchback.
yeah, hatchback, and it had fluoro pink eyelashes on the headlights.
did you like it?
If you don't know what we're talking about, car eyelashes, I'll include a link in the show notes.
I think they're
to
called
the
car
Google-
lashes.
You can Google image search this right now, even if you can't bother be finding the link. Google car eyelashes.
I think it's the lady equivalent of getting those like testicles that hang off the toe bar.
It is. That's exactly what it is.
It's letting everyone know, hey,
These are classy.
I'm flirty.
Yeah.
I'm a lady.
I like it.
You like it. Fred likes it. Fred would not wear a drive jacket, but he would rock some car lashes.
No. I'm not saying that I would want car eyelashes. If I saw someone with car eyelashes, I'd think, okay.
You'd think that's pretty cool, girl.
No, I think
Okay.
I don't hate this person.
Have you got the Google
But if I saw
image
someone
search back?
with the bollocks hanging off the back of the car, I think, what a dick.
But there seems to be like male and female variants where your female, the eyelashes go out diagonally, right? And
What?
spread around.
What?
But if you have the
No.
male car, there's one. If you scroll down, there's a Volvo. At least on my search results, I realized they're probably customized for every person. But there's a Volvo where the eyelashes go straight up, which I assume
that's
means
just-
that's for a male.
That's just depending on the headlight, I think. Maybe you could tell the sex.
Oh
of
my
the car.
god, I've got one with a BMW with car headlights. I've only ever seen it on really rounded headlights that look like eyes. This person's whacked them on some BMW.
Yeah, you got the same one as me. Yeah. So it's a bit. See, I like basically the Vita Beetle looks pretty cool with it.
The Mini, it's got nice big round eyes.
Yeah. The Cadillac, the old
Looking in your
Cadillac
big
looks pretty cool.
brown eye.
Someone's put it on. What is that? Who thought this up? Who thought up car eyelashes? Oh yeah, I can see a Volvo with them. Oh, they don't even look like eyelashes
Look
when
at
they're on
the
that
Mini then.
Volvo. There's a Porsche with some.
I think the pink Cadillac is the most feminine.
Yeah, see, I think it really makes the
It's a
car very
BMW
feminine.
M5. The Cadillac.
You know, there's stupider things people put on their cars.
So,
Such as bollocks?
would you get it for your own car, Fred?
No.
What about
Yeah.
Zoe's Volkswagen?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's got,
For
like,
your lady friend
square
as a
eyes.
guest.
No, I wouldn't want to be seen.
No, they're still a little bit rounded. I'm
I
thinking
think
her. Oh no, you've got the previous gen. Yeah,
Yeah,
they are
it's
quite
a bit boxy. So
You could try that. They might look like they're giving cunt eyes, you know, like a bit squinty, like let's go fuck.
But could you just stick it around based on the lights inside that are probably round, not the exterior?
I'll get a vinyl wrap for
it's
it.
got to be. Could you make a moustache instead?
Oh,
Probably.
Carstache. Let's fucking get them in production.
$1 million to make. Car stash.
Cut the live feed now.
The
Don't
next
put this on
revolution.
live. We need to just start working on it.
Oh no.
car stash.
Wow.
See, I wouldn't be seen dead in a car with eyelashes.
What about like armpit hair? You could have hair coming out from the wheel arches.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
hot? People love armpit hair.
Where would the pubic hair go?
Where the tow bar is,
Yeah.
where the
Toe bar?
bollocks go.
The bollocks,
yeah.
Okay.
Put an afro wig under there, drive
Yeah.
around.
With the bollocks swinging. Because I've seen two different types of the car nuts. There's the ones that are like cast from a single piece of metal.
Yeah.
And then there's ones that are like a silicon sack with, like actual testicles in it. So it's really wobbling around.
Wobbling around, yeah.
Like, it's a lot of detail. It's like they just grabbed a sex toy, the biggest sex toy they could at the adult shop, and just
You
threw
wonder,
it.
right,
Strap a
what
dildo to
if
your car.
cars really had sex with each other? Right?
Yeah. Yep.
You wouldn't have the balls at the back because cars have difficulty flipping themselves up and mounting another car.
Mm.
Surely the easiest sexual act is just to nudge them with the bumper.
Well, you know what would be great? I'd love to see someone with a big dildo at the front of their car.
Yeah.
And when they pull up at the traffic lights, try to slot it into the exhaust pipe
Into
of the car in front of them.
that's how it would work. That's how it works.
Well, but wouldn't that be really funny?
That's doing it in the butt equivalent. You wouldn't put it in there.
Are you guys against cars that have two exhausts to make it symmetrical?
You got
No, I'm totally for two exhausts. I hate single exhaust
cars. Yeah, okay.
I am either for.
So would the male car have to have the two dildos attached to the front
That'd be
to
even
match
better.
up with the
But exhausts are so varying. Sometimes they have one on the left, one on the right.
yeah.
Sometimes they have one on either side. Sometimes they have two on either side. Sometimes they have one in the middle, two in the middle. I'm either I'm pro dual exhaust on the outside or single or dual exhaust in the center. I don't like asymmetry.
Asymmetry.
No,
I agree
boo
with
for that.
Yeah. I stare a lot at the rear of guitars in my cars in my job.
So that'd be kind of a fun game, I think, for people.
Yeah, trying to
just
poke
put a
it up there.
dildo
Yeah.
in the front of their car and try to lance it into.
It's very bad for a car to block the exhaust. So if some
Well, I'm not
some dude shoving dildos in your exhaust makes your car
okay.
okay,
So if that's probably a good thing for those that have this symmetrical exhaust by having two, so that you just release one dildo on one side according to what one you feel is the best injection point and just ram the car.
I'm not saying
up.
it's a sensible idea, but I think it's a good idea.
I think you'd want to stick it in the fuel
cap
in
the fuel hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd have to stop. This is a fun game you could play
Oh, yeah.
on the prowl, and then they'd take off, leaving your dildo would stay on your car, and then you could
You need
go.
to leave a mark though. So they get out of their car and they're like,
I got dildo.
blown by some dildo.
You could take a photo of it. And,
Post it on the internet.
yeah.
It's probably an expensive thing. Like you would have to invest in car lube to make sure that your
Well, the exhaust would be really hot as well, so the dildo
holes.
would
Yeah.
potentially melt.
Yeah.
Make it out of silicone.
Lots of things to think about. Okay, any other car news?
Well, I'll put in the show notes a link to supposedly the greatest hole-in-one in golf, where some pro golfer smacked a golf ball towards David Coulthard, the former McLaren F1 Formula 1 driver, who had to catch the ball in the back of his convertible car as he was driving past, and he did it eventually after quite a few tries.
He had to what?
I don't think it took that many tries. I think they got it on like the 5th try or something,
Yeah.
which is pretty ridiculous.
What did he do?
So there's a pro golfer, right, who's taking a big swing at a golf ball, and at the same time, David Coulthard in his convertible fast car is fanging past the ball, and he keeps driving, and he's looking up. He's on a big tarmac, so he doesn't really have to worry about what's in front of him. He's looking up, trying to aim the car so the ball lands inside the convertible hole in top of the car. So that's the hole-in-one.
I don't think that would be that.
Did you obviously didn't watch
You don't
the
think
show
that'd be
notes.
Well, you said they did it in 5, right?
Yeah.
Well, presumably a professional golfer can land a golf ball on a
Certain area.
within a car-sized area with relative ease, and then you just have to make sure the car's there at that point in time. Just timing.
Okay. But you didn't watch the video.
I'm watching it now.
McLaren.
Oh, well, it's almost like the McLaren week. McLaren just announced it's the 1-year anniversary of selling cars, which probably means it's a 1 year. We obviously got we're well past the 1 year anniversary of Fangin' Around, because I think we were talking about one of the first subjects we talked about on the car news of Fangin' Around was McLaren releasing
The
a
what?
new car. The
What is it?
MP4147T12T71T7
Worst
1T.
name for a supercar. It needs to
Yeah.
be like the McLaren Killtator
Yeah.
or something, or the
Or just the McLaren 2, F2.
yeah, even that.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like the MP
C14F219101071121.
That is not catchy.
It's like one of those crappy computers that you buy.
Yeah, I mean, at least Lamborghini and Ferrari release cars that are unpronounceable,
Yeah.
and then everyone kind of struggles with it and makes up
But
some.
you're really not going to buy a
version.
McLaren because of a stupid name?
No, but I don't think it gets the heart racing.
Look, I am
in-
a huge
in name.
McLaren fan, as in McLaren, the race team, is my third favorite sporting team in the world. But their logo, just by themselves, is the worst logo on earth.
What is their logo?
Google McLaren logo and just see, and it's just like, oh, I understand why I don't know what it is, because it's just such a non-specific blog.
It's McLaren with a disc.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like this little arrow thing that's...
what is it? The scoop. It's like a swoop.
It's like a swoop boomerang, which is like just the biggest cliche in logos, and they have it.
What
and
about this other thing that I see that comes up? Oh no, that's McLaren.
I actually like the font they use for the name, but I hate the actual thing, which is what they have at the front of the MP41272J125.
The M in the McLaren looks like the M for the BMW M division.
Yeah.
But if you search for McLaren, they've got quite a nice logo. It's just an M made up of diamonds. So instead of McLaren, search for McLaren.
Oh, yeah, I see what you
And
mean.
that's quite nice. I
Mm.
mean, it's not... It's simple,
Mm.
but if that was on the front of a car, you'd go...
I like the name MP412C.
Oh, do you?
I don't like it, but in terms of if you're
You
going to
just said you like it.
if you're going to have to, if someone says you got to pick a name that's combinations of letters and numbers, it does roll off the tongue.
Say it again.
MP412C.
You got to keep the numbers down to a lower than that. What if they just called it the McLaren 10?
That's boring. Would you get? I got a 10. 10 what?
Perfect 10.
McLaren 10.
You'd say
McLaren,
10 out of 10.
McLaren 10 what?
Or what if they called it 100%?
Well, they just call it like this super.
Or why don't they call
car.
it the MPF 130 or whatever?
It doesn't roll off the tongue. MP412C.
Anyway, so they're sold
412C.
I'm
over...
not saying I love it. I'm just saying there's just worse names.
Anyway, so they've sold over 1,000 of them, and even though they spent pretty much the whole year just trying to find dealers that will sell the car, so that was the big achievement for them, because they got, dealerships to start selling the car, which is the hardest, I guess, thing to do in that kind of industry. But what's most exciting for me is that they're going to bring out the sequels to the McLaren F1, which I assume means it's going to be a way more epic car than the MP... What do you call it, Fred?
MP412C.
Yeah. Because they really tried to... With the MP42C...
12C.
12C... They tried to make it the, a cheap car that you could buy for under $300,000.
You're talking about the P12 hypercar project.
I don't know. There's so many names. I assume it would be called a McLaren F2, which is what I was talking about. The MP.
That is a boring name.
Right,
F2 is better than...
my
like
favorite
MP4
car of all time is the McLaren F1. Right, when I was a child, it captured my imagination. At the time when I was just getting a 56K modem, right, you could plug this car. It had its own modem built in. You could plug it into a phone line. It would send its telemetry data to McLaren and tell you whether it needs a service. And I was like, whoa, this is the first internet car ever. Not to
And
mention
now,
that it was the fastest road production car
So do
ever
they
built.
still have like a 56k connect?
I wonder if you have your McLaren F1 and plug it in, and it wasn't in 56k, but it was like 33.6.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that? Oh, we're off.
Anyway, so I'm excited that McLaren's building a real supercar that I assume it's going to be unlimited price, like it will cost $2 million rather than the MP3C, which is targeted at Ferrari
It's supposed
users.
to be competitive
Yeah.
with the high end.
Yeah.
Whereas this next one's a hypercar, which is going to be like comparable to a Veyron or something.
Because they only built 100 of the McLaren F1s and like...
Did they only build 100 of them?
Yeah, and, Larry Ellison owns 2 of them and stuff like that. And who's the second coolest billionaire after... What's his name?
Gina Reinhardt.
No. What's the one that Fred hates? Virgin?
Oh, Richard Branson.
Richard Branson.
Oh, Fred. Branson's exactly what you want from a million.
Yeah, I mean, he's all right. I'm softening on Branston.
Oh, God. He's like, he puts so much money into the sciences, Fred.
That's why I'm softening on him.
No. Listener mail.
Is there any other car news?
No.
Okay.
Well, we can talk more about the McLarens if you want.
No.
Car eyelashes, convertible hole-in-one, and McLaren news was it. Listener mail. Listener Affilius DC, in response to us asking, would you sleep with the invisible woman? He or she says yes.
That's it?
That's it.
Did they remember what the other listener wrote in with, reminding us that an invisible woman's actually married?
I'm not sure if he did.
Because that's a bit of a monkey
But
wrench.
if you want to send us some better listener mail, mailbag@fangaround.com.
Don't disregard. It's like
Our
someone's
first-
smart and you're like totally just like down on it.
Mailbag@fangaround.com. There's an anonymous mailer if you go to fangaround.com, go to listen mail section. There's anonymous. You can send it anonymously without giving up your email.
Really?
I'd recommend people do that.
Yeah, anonymous. Or you can send us an
might do
audio
that. I
question
might do
via
it as
audio
well.
boot as Fangin' Around.
All right. Maybe I will.
Yep. The form is at fangaround.com and go to the listener mail section. I can't remember what the link is, but you can find it yourselves. And that's all the show notes we have for this week. Oh, no, we've missed out the most important part of the show.
Oh.
Are you staying on?
Yeah.
I thought you're editing this out.
No, this is a segment you've skipped over, Fred.
What?
1, 2,
Lyrics
3.
interpretation.
Oh, yeah, well, it's pretty obvious, James. Do you really
No.
really interpret that?
No,
for me?
we've got to
It's about
interpret
getting
these
a
lyrics.
blowjob.
Oh, Fred, don't give us
You ruined it.
spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Flow Rider likes
To edit
getting
that
head.
out. What's the time code? Okay, so lyrics interpretation. Well, last week we did
Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer, yes.
And we also had a crack at In the Air Tonight.
Internet by Phil Collins.
And my interpretation of Van Morrison's
And the rain
it
came
stoned
down.
me.
And it
Yeah,
stoned
yeah.
me, yeah.
about gay bareback sex.
So the latest song on Perth radio, I don't know what it is like in the rest of the world, is the big one they play every 3 minutes, is Flow Rider Whistle.
Whistle.
Have you heard this, Campbell?
I haven't. No.
Can I play it?
Although I saw an ad for
No,
Flow
don't
Rider.
play it. We're
Don't
going to
play
read out the lyrics and Campbell has to interpret it.
Okay.
That's the game.
All right.
Who's reading out the lyrics, James?
I'll read it out unless you want to.
Not really.
All right.
So it's this Whistle by Flow Rider. And lyrics go as follows. Can you blow my whistle, baby? Whistle, baby. Let me know. Girl, I'm going to show you how to do it. And we start real slow. You just put your lips together and you come real close. Come you blow my whistle, baby. Whistle, baby, here we go. I'm getting you like people, and I bet you love freak mode. I'm betting you like girls that give love and girls that stroke your little ego. I bet I'm guilty, yo honor, but that how we live in my genre. When I pay Rottweiler, that's only one flow and one rider. I'm a damn shame, order more champagne, pulling them hamstring, trying to put it on ya. Bet your lips spin back around the corner, slow it down, baby, take it a little longer. Come on, you blow my whistle, baby. Whistle,
Yeah, okay, I
baby.
think we get it.
So when he's like, what do you think, Cal?
Is he
When he's
is he
he
auditioning
wants-
band members for the whistle segment of his new song?
Can you blow my whistle, baby? That's the first line.
Can you blow my whistle? So he owns a whistle that needs blowing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that could be an analogy
I
for.
don't
It's
know.
quite discreet, quite subtle, really. Very cryptic. Is he talking about a literal whistle or just a figurative one?
I don't know. I'm betting you like girls that give love and girls that stroke your little ego.
Well,
Who's
the one
he
I've
talking
got
to?
says, I'm betting you like girls that give love to girls.
Oh. Who's
the
he
most
saying that
curious-
to? Me?
Yeah, but the most curious
Is he
line
telling me to blow his whistle and he's betting that I like girls as well? And girls that like girls?
Oh, he's talking to a girl, you idiot.
But
And then he's saying to who? I bet you like girls that like girls.
Yeah.
He's saying that to the girl too.
Yeah.
Oh.
But then to get multiple girls.
But then he goes on to say, bet your lips spin back round the corner. Slow it down, baby. Take it a little longer. So is he going into the stink? Spinning around the corner?
No, he's saying...
Or she's going...
No, I think she's going around his corner. Her lips...
Rusty trombone.
Her lips are going around his corner.
From his trombone to his...
From his whistle to his
sphincter.
meat pie, yeah. I reckon's what's happening.
Yep.
He's saying, how about you stop blowing my whistle and blow the tuba for a while? Kind of thing. I don't know. Is that what he's suggesting?
I've
What's
been
this
listening
guy
to the
into?
song. It's been hit on the radios, and I'm like, what is it all about? Does he really have this? Is he a big
whistle?
whistler? There's no like cut breakdown where it's like. There's no whistling in this song at all.
Is it like a...
Is that the break it down? Was there... Because who was it? The Yin Yang Twins did a song called "Whistle While You Twerk," which I think covered similar ground, but that did have whistling in it. Was it twerk? I think it was twerk.
Is it twerking like popping? Some sort of...
I think it was twerk. I haven't heard it in years. The Yin Yang Twins.
In Urban Dictionary, that shit. Twerk.
Is it
Wasn't
whistle?
there the twerk team? Isn't that a lyric from the same song?
Yeah, whistle while you twerk. TWURK.
T-W... Oh, U-R-K. Don't even know how to spell twerk.
Oh, I wouldn't have spelled it like that. What is Urban Dictionary whipping up with twerk?
Rubbing your... To move your body in a way that you are rubbing up against something or someone.
Oh.
Just flex...
Twerks up.
Yin Yang Twins are quite very delicious.
They're pretty... I think they're quite
I assume
incredible.
they were like AZN and all like ching chong chong ching chong.
No. Offensive. Cool. So that was lyrics.
That was yeah.
Other definition.
We
To
need a
twerk
name
is
for
to
that
wank
segment.
like you never wanked before. So whistle while you twerk.
So just rub one off and
Rub
have
one
a
out
whistle.
Just walk down the street whistling.
Show me soprano, 'cause girl you can handle. Baby we start snagging, you come in part clothes. Girl I'm losing wing, my Bugatti the same road. Show me your perfect bitch, you get it my banjo. You got it my banjo, sorry.
Those lyrics are barely...
This is the same guy with the boots with the fur. But you
What's
love
your
The Clock Can't
favourite
Handle Me
Flow
Right
Rider
Now.
song?
You love that song, Campbell, I believe.
Oh, look, I saw an ad for Flow Rider for his album. And I was like, I had no idea who made these songs, but I love them all.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, it's the same guy who did all of the... I've never bothered looking up. I just assumed it was a whole bunch of different acts that had one-hit wonders. But no, this is Flow Rider.
Flow Rider.
He's one of those guys that's really buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a
See
problem
his
with that?
buffers.
No,
Who's
no.
that guy I like?
50 Cent. I quite like Dr. Dre. He's on
dancing.
roids.
I was like the
Is he
next
on
Michael
roids?
Jackson.
Oh, man. The next Michael Jackson. Oh, Donnie from
Usher.
Eurovision. Oh, no, Donnie. He was the next Michael Jackson.
The mask.
Usher's not buff. What are you talking about?
No, Usher's
That's
not.
what I was like. Yeah, what?
because you're wrong about something.
Florida is very big on the 5 p.m. shadow, like how he grooms
manicured.
it. Yeah.
Oh.
Like a motherfucker.
I don't like it when people put too much grooming into their facial grooming.
Oh.
You know, where it gets really delicate.
He's got it down to a T. Or a V, maybe. It's more good.
Except for that bat stash. That was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah. Hey, Fred, why don't you get some etchings in the side of your head? Oh, wow. That's really a lot
quite complimentary, that photo as well.
Let's see.
That's a lot of effort he's put into his facial hair.
It's got a lot of tats.
Yeah. He seems to be hanging out in Ibiza a lot in the video clips I saw.
He hangs out with David Guetta, doesn't he?
Oh. I guess if you want to party and be a DJ.
Anyway, you should probably check out now. You can... this has been the Fang Around podcast.
Yep.
I'm James. You can find me at jimmrich.com. Fred, where can we find you?
Nowhere.
On Twitter, you can find him at Fred
Baines. Twitter.com/.
That's not his real name, though. And my name's
fake.
Campbell White. You can find me at campbellwhite.com, on Twitter, on Tumblr, on Instagram. I'm everywhere.
Campbell's just embraced Instagram. He's going nuts.
Just gotten onto
You
it.
can see all his creative endeavors.
Yeah, yeah. And, but they're all being... Yeah. You can find out what I'm doing.
This has been the Fang Around podcast. You find us at fangaround.com. Send us an audiobook question. Send us an audio question. It doesn't have to be an email. You can record your own voicemail. Send it directly to us. And we'll totally dig that. Or you can send it to mailbag@fangaround.com. Or use the anonymous mailer at the listener mail section on fangaround.com. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Adios.
See ya.
Bye.